2, 1, go.
Good evening, everybody. Yes, I am Mark Mendoza. The show is 22 Now. The network is 22, Area 22 Productions. And I got to get that right every week. Anyway, again, I am Mark Mendoza. The show is 22 Now, and we are on Area 22 Productions. I always have great guests. I don't care what you think, but I always have great guests.
I agree.
Some of them are just more informative. Some of them are a little funny. Some of them are weird, like Digger. But tonight I have a great guest on with me tonight. Someone who's a very dear friend of mine, a great musician, a great person, and just an all-around great guy. You know, I've known him for a long time, toured around the world with him.
I'm going to need a tissue.
You're going to need a tissue in a minute? I got some for you. Want a tissue?
No, okay.
But in any case, and it's been a long time coming, I want everybody to give a nice round of applause, a nice 22 Now reception for Eddie Fingers Ojeda from Twisted Sisters.
All right.
See the audience?
Thank you.
They're doing well, huh?
Yep.
I got them trained well.
That's good.
I have them trained well.
That's good now.
All right, so yes, it took a lot to get Eddie Ojeda here. He's a very busy man.
Yes, lately.
In the middle of a
especially.
lot of things in Eddie's life, there are a lot of ups and downs, like the rest of us.
Yes,
but
very much.
he's been going through a lot of good, and a lot of like rough stuff.
Yep.
But he took some time out, and I'm not being funny about that. He took some time out from his crazy life right now, and to come down and join us for an hour or two on 22 Now with me, right, Eddie?
Yep.
Just yup. It's just one word.
For sure, yes.
For sure. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Here to do it.
Eddie.
Yes.
We have known each other for a long time.
A long time.
A long time. We toured around the world. There's a lot of good times, a lot of bad times. Mostly
good,
great,
though.
mostly good.
Yeah, mostly
Some
good.
unbelievable stories.
Yes.
Incredible stories.
Yes, definitely.
A real quick thing here for you. I did have Joe Gerber on a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I heard.
Which was very funny. Joe was.
He didn't wear his corkies, did he?
No, he brought. He didn't. Oh, you know what he did? He brought him with him, and he left his boots and his corkies on a bag on the train. On the Long Island Railroad.
Yeah, I think I heard that. Yeah,
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He really did. And a week later, he got them back.
Really?
I was hoping he would. Not that I don't like Joe, I do, but
That's not surprising.
nobody wanted them.
Were they from the 80s, the original
The
corkies?
original corkies,
The
yeah.
embarrassing ones that he used to embarrass the band with? Like,
Yes.
Yes.
And you know what? He brought the mucklucks, the furry boots, too.
oh, yeah, those were really special.
Yeah, and I guess between the corkies and the mucklucks,
Yeah,
nobody wanted them, so they got turned into lost and found, and Joe
nobody-
got his shoe collection back.
Nobody ever took him serious either. Because he would come in, he said, I'm Twisted Sisters tour manager, and they wouldn't believe, like, with the corkies.
They wouldn't believe.
And then he would wear, like, the pink socks with the corkies. Yeah.
Pink socks with corkies.
With those, like, 5-inch, whatever they were.
Corkies.
Corkies, yeah. But
anyway,
somehow we got through it.
You got a lot of stuff going on in your life.
Yes.
You know, a lot of stuff personally, and we won't have to delve into that. But, you know, let's just start off with a few things, and then we'll go back into some history and some funny stories.
Okay.
You recently came up with a hot sauce line.
Right.
And also a coffee line.
Yes. That's
The
more
hot
recent.
sauce is here, right in front of me. I just hit the mic. I'm sorry, Steven. The hot sauce is right in front of me here. 3 different flavors. Eddie Ojeda's
Apple,
cherry,
cherry,
and peach.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
Thank you.
We've tried them all here. Matter of fact, one of the shows on the network
Chef.
had a chef on, and he actually sampled the stuff and said it was amazing. He really
Awesome,
did. The show
awesome.
was.
Yeah, people love it. I mean, it's. I've been getting like 5-star reviews, you know. And
I can see why.
And I'm not
It really
paying
is
for
good.
them either.
You're not paying for them. It's just happening, right?
It's actually honest. Yeah.
And another thing right here is we have the Eddie Ojeda's Dark and Twisted Premium Dark Roast Blend.
That's right.
Coffee.
Premium.
Premium coffee.
Smells really good.
It does smell good. I tried it.
Take a whiff.
I'm already high from it.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, it's good.
That's the glue we did before.
What we did before. So, Eddie, what got you into the hot sauce and coffee business?
Well, the hot sauce thing was something I always wanted to do, you know, and I was good friends with this guy, John Rosati. This guy, he's also a chef, great cook. He lives down in Maryland, or Delaware, I think, yeah. And
Somewhere.
yeah, somewhere. And he has a bunch of Rippin' Red. He's got a bunch of his own sauces, like wing sauces, hot sauces. So, you know, I talked to him about doing a hot sauce. And he says, yeah, I can make it happen. You know, I can help you with it. And, you know, I know a place where you can get it bottled and get it done, and they do a great job. And so one thing led to another, and he hooked me up with these people. I sent them the recipes and started doing it. I started the cherry flavor first for like the first year and a half, or the first year. And then I decided to add 2 more flavors. So this is a milder one, the apple. This is like medium. I mean, like this, so it goes like this. This is like the milder, which is still hot, but not. This is medium, and this is really hot. That's the Carolina Reaper. So
the Carolina Reaper is equivalent to battery acid.
It's hot. It's the hottest pepper. Actually,
it's the peach one. I tried it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on fire.
Yeah, but the people that really love hot sauce, really, that's their favorite. That and the cherry. From 1 to 10, as far as hotheads go, this is like a 3, this is like a 5, and this is like an 8. 10 being like uneatable. You know,
unedible,
like something,
like
yeah, like Hell's whatever.
Really,
there's a bunch of
It's just like just put a.
There's some stuff that you know you could just use with a dropper. It's so hot, but to me that's like too.
You remember the movie Aliens?
Sure.
They cut the alien's finger and the stuff burned right through the acid, burned right through all the decks. That's this.
No, that won't happen with that. This is very edible.
Peach.
Yeah. Well, the peach it's like sweet at first, and then you get the heat. And Carolina Reaper is actually the guy who came up with that strain. Is strangely enough, his name is Ed Curry.
Ed Curry.
Ed Curry, really.
It's like hurry down to Curry.
Yeah, and now I think he's coming up with a new strain. So
you're talking a strain is like a virus or a bacteria.
Well, a new. Maybe I'm using the wrong word.
Yeah, exactly. Strain.
Not strain.
A new flavor.
No, it's another name for it.
Is it really?
I'll remember it on the way home.
I'll remember it on the way home.
When I leave, oh yeah, I'll remember that. But you know, a new pepper, which is the hottest it's considered the hottest in the world right now.
So, the people that I've spoken to about this already, and there's quite a few that I know that have tried it. How involved were you with coming up with the actual flavors?
Well, I spoke to my friend John, and we came up with different flavors. The cherry actually came up because nobody had made a cherry hot sauce. And I wanted to do something with fruits because I had some problems with uric acid, and I used to eat cherries, you know, for health reasons. So that was part of the reason I said, hey, let's do a cherry hot sauce. And the fact that nobody had done one was like a perfect chance to do it. So I think it's probably the only cherry hot sauce around. There might be another one. I don't know, but so far I think that's the one.
So when the flavors were being invented, were you testing them?
Yeah.
Were you trying
we were going back and forth. He would send me samples, and we go back and forth and add a little more heat or less heat, whatever. And then we send it, once we had it right, we send the recipe to the bottling company. And they did a great job. I think they did it on the second shot, which is incredible. You know, usually you have to go through like 3 or 4 samples before they hit it, but you know,
they're incredible sauces.
Job.
They really are.
Thanks.
The peach, it's too hot for me.
Yeah, some people.
That was. I had to go get the garden hose to cool it.
Yeah, I know. Well, some people say when somebody said that it wasn't hot at all.
The peach.
And I said,
it's like I said, that's like battery. Sulfuric acid.
Somebody made a comment about it. I said he must have tried the wrong hot sauce because
you bottled it wrong.
Or maybe he had the wrong label. I don't think so. I don't know. I said maybe it's the apple because the apple is kind of mild. It's like it's not really
delicious. It's great.
It's easy. It's easy on most people can deal with.
We tried an apple pie made with that hot sauce in it.
Yeah, I heard.
Right?
Yeah.
Didn't we?
It was the applesauce cake. Yeah.
The applesauce cake, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it was delicious, and you could tell the hot sauce was in it.
Yeah, it's good. You know, people put it on pancakes. You know, I don't suggest putting it on any private parts of your body. You know, it's kind
of. You never know.
Well,
people may want to use it as a sex aid.
It might be a little too, hot. You know, especially it's like putting cologne down there. You know, it's like, you find out you think it's a good idea at first, but like the first time you First time you grow some hair, you're like 14. You know, you say, "Let me try putting it." Oh.
That's probably not.
Or sometimes even with peppers, like when I deal with hot peppers, I use gloves. Because one time I forgot and I went to the bathroom, and I'll never do that again because I didn't use gloves. And even if you touch your eye, it'll burn for like.
It'll burn.
So if you're gonna make your own hot sauce, and use gloves with the peppers, and for whatever other exams you want to do, use rubber gloves.
Eddie, where can we find these hot sauces?
Right now, it's at twistedhotsauce.com.
We can order it right online?
Right online. Yeah, it's that easy. You can just go right online, order it.
Say the name again. What's the website?
twistedhotsauce.com.
twistedhotsauce.com. I suggest that everybody try this out. Depending on how much heat you want and what kind of flavor.
Right.
They can be used in so many different types of dishes.
Yeah, you don't have to go crazy with it.
No, it doesn't have to be barbecue that you use this on because of the taste. Like I said, we've tried all three in a lot of different things and a lot of different types of foods, and they all worked. The actual applesauce pie that we tried with this in it was amazing. It's homemade and it was incredible. And I didn't make it because you know who I am, right?
Yeah, right.
Chef Boyardee.
Yeah, Chef Boyardee. Yeah.
I'm Chef. I can't even boil water. A 3-minute egg works out to be about an hour and a half. But absolutely incredible sauces. It really is. And I'm not just saying that because you're Eddie Ojeda.
Right.
And I know you will. I'm saying you because it's a great product.
Exactly.
If you like hot sauce, you got to try it. Okay, go on.
They will enjoy it, I guarantee.
The website again.
I have no complaints.
What's the website again?
It's twistedhotsauce.com.
There you go, Twisted Hot Sauce.
Yeah, it couldn't get simpler.
.com. Eddie Ojeda's hot sauce. Okay, let's move on to the coffee.
Right.
I mean, I would say that most people love coffee.
Yes.
Coffee.
Coffee.
Most people.
Cafe.
What's that?
What's coffee?
What's coffee? Yeah, not you.
Cafe. In England, they say cafe.
It's cafe.
It's
cafe.
Cafe.
Coffee. So
they actually make fun of, when I was in England, they were making fun of the way we say coffee.
Yeah, well, we're from New York, so we say coffee.
They said, "Oh, you coffee and a bagel. You guys are so funny." I'm like,
coffee and a bagel.
In England, it's like we're like cool because we have these accents.
Yeah, we have these accents.
I don't think I have an accent. Do you? I don't think.
I don't think you have an accent. I mean, there's a lot of stories about it. There's a lot of stories.
Yeah, we can go into accents.
Oh man, there's a lot of stories.
I can get.
But the Eddie Ojeda's Dark and Twisted Premium Dark Roast Blend. What's the story behind the coffee?
Basically, Dave Ellefson from
right. I see his name
from Megadeth. Yeah, he's it's his coffee company, and he works with he's doing signature coffees with different artists and bands. You know, so the link is like if somebody just puts Eddie Ojeda coffee, you'll find the link and you can get right to it.
How'd you come up with the flavor? Come on.
They sent me the beans.
You mean the money?
His company. No, the beans. The beans, like a burrito, but except these are coffee beans. So they sent me like a couple of different beans to try. So I tried them separately, and then I mixed them together. And luckily, the first, when I blended the two of them together, that's how we decided on that roast. So they're all a little different. Every different signature one, I guess. Everybody has a.
Now, is everybody else that's working with Ellefson?
Yeah.
Are they all
Skid Row
entertainers?
Yeah. Skid Row it's a Skid Row one for the band. And there's 3 other, of course, Dave has his. And Skid Row. And I'm trying to think of the other artists. There's like four different blends.
Right.
Yeah, I can't think of everybody's name except the Skid Row one. Who else?
That's all right. We don't.
Yeah, once they just
come up with it now.
If they just check it out, Dave Ellefson's coffee.
So do you make a decaf?
No, not yet.
I drink decaf.
Yeah, I don't think they would want to.
I drink decaf.
No, I know that. You always drank Sanka.
Oh, no, I.
There wasn't much of a choice, in the 80s.
Well, now there is.
Well, now there's a lot of decaf.
Yeah, there's a lot of decaf.
Yeah,
Drink
everybody.
decaf.
I'm not going to name the companies, but
I get you like leaded. I like unleaded.
Yeah, well, sometimes I do decaf.
Do you really?
A little bit. Yeah,
a little bit.
A little bit once in a while.
Half and half or something.
Or even half calf.
Half calf.
Yeah, but people, with this kind of the premium coffee, they want caffeine. Actually, I never tried it. I just chewed on the beans and tell them yeah, I have tried it, a few times.
Oh, just a few?
I drink it regularly,
Okay, so where can we find this again?
Online, right now.
What, we have to wait online to get it?
You can wait online if you want. You can find online anywhere.
Store, right?
You can go, especially, you don't have to wait online like you do at most of these coffee places. You could just buy it online on the internet.
But is this sold in any of the coffee places?
Not yet.
Not yet. Soon.
Not yet, but hopefully soon.
So where do we
the
find
hot
it?
sauce?
There are
stores that have it.
Yes.
A few mom and pop brick and mortar, they call them, right? Brick and mortar stores. So they are. Some people do carry them. A lot of different.
Well, it could be
your local neighborhood sauce store.
It could be 2x4s and sheetrock stores.
That too.
Okay, because that's not all brick and mortar.
Well, we're talking about the woods now.
So this is easy to order online also, right?
Yes, very easy. Man, as long as the credit card works.
You're a hell of a guest, man.
Huh?
You're really a hell of a guest. All right, so everybody check out Eddie's hot sauce, Eddie's dark and twisted roast. Amazing.
Right.
It smells incredible. It certainly does.
It should.
I mean, it's smelling up the room. I can smell it from here.
Yeah. Well, I just farted. That's what it is.
Oh, did you really?
I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm certainly hope that your coffee doesn't smell.
No,
like
it's not, of course. That's so good. It would intubate.
It would just get rid of the.
I'm making up words.
You really are.
It would incubate the smell.
Incubate the smell?
Yeah.
Okay, we're doing good.
Autonomously.
We're doing well here. We're doing well. All right, so let's get into a couple of stories.
Okay.
Some TS Day stories. There's a million stories to tell. There's a million things that happen. People love hearing these stories, as I hear. To me, we've been talking about these things for so long. But people love hearing about some of them. Now, when Joe was on, we try to explain what insult poker was.
Oh, God. That was terrible. That was in the RV.
That was in the RV, right?
That horrible. Basically, all I saw was your legs under that RV.
Yeah,
because you were constantly fixing it.
Right underneath.
See your legs and your boots. We would stop and you're fixing them. That happened a lot. It was like 10 times when you'd be under for an hour.
I have to say.
Hand me a tool.
Hand me a tool.
They're lucky. I mean,
give me a chrome reverse muffler bearing. Right?
Yeah, right.
Like that. I need some new frizzle pins. No, if you remember, we burned out the starter solenoid and everything. So I found a big piece of wire, and I'd have to have someone just turn the key to the on position, and I would start. I would start the RV with a big double piece of cable, right? Remember that? Well, when it broke down, we were outside of some big arena someplace.
Bum shit, Wyoming.
And who knows where it was. Yeah. And there was a construction site there. I think it was like they were building railroad stuff. And I found big, thick wire, like 00 cable, and it was hacksaw, and I put it in a vise, and I cut one, and I bent it into a U shape, right? And then wrapped a lot of tape on it so I can hold on to it and touch the terminals without getting electrocuted. Would start, right? So that's how no one could steal it because you couldn't start it. No one knew that. If they knew that, they could start it.
I remember, whatever happened to that RV? Where did we get it from?
We got it from some RV place.
Did we pay for it?
Did we pay for it?
Did we buy it or rent it?
You don't remember the story behind that?
No.
We rented it. We didn't buy it.
Okay, good.
It didn't make. It only made a few weeks.
That was a bad idea.
It was a really bad idea. Don't you remember that in right outside Raton, New Mexico? It's like 100 degrees outside, middle of the summer.
Yeah.
On a Sunday morning, it broke down.
Oh, yeah, several.
Don't you remember the two guys that we rented cars from?
Yeah, the Ugly Duckling car service, car rental. Ugly Duckling.
Yeah, was.
And they had an ugly duck. Was the
logo? A big ugly duck. But it was
Marathon.
Pistol Pete Mangino or something like that, and another name. The guys who owned it. Remember they came and picked us up?
Yeah.
And then we went back and
We
drove.
were in those cars for a while.
We were in those cars, and those cars weren't exactly that nice either.
No, they were pretty horrible.
Like one was like a '79.
Ugly
Dodge
Duckling
Dart.
was the right name for it. I don't think they're still in business, you know.
Ugly Duckling was the right name.
Yeah, it was a perfect name for it. And
I don't remember all of it. It was a long time ago. But you remember they blew the transmission. And I begged Charlie not to drive it hard. And you know him, he would mash the pedal to the floor.
Oh, yeah, Barreca.
You remember when we were asleep, we'd all fall out of our bunks?
Oh,
because he'd
God.
make turns at 90 miles an hour. And poor AJ fell out of his bunk like 12 times in that thing.
I remember that time that I was riding up front with you, and it was late at night, and we're like on, I think it was 87, and they had those orange things up.
No, that was Interstate 70, someplace out west.
And there was
You're
like
talking about the big round plastic barrels.
and there was like
barrels.
30 of them. They were about a mile apart. They were
a couple of yards apart. But I would tell you to pick one, right? And you go, why? I said, pick one. And you go, all right, the fifth one up there, right? And I'd get right next to it, and I'd yank the wheel, and the back end would come around, and it would kick the thing out like 40 feet into a field.
pretty amazing flying speed. No, it was a good.
You were crying, man.
I was in tears.
Crying.
It just, and it was like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
Everybody's
you
sleeping.
were wide awake, and I was driving all night.
And man, that was the way they would just take off. It was
yeah,
like,
I mean,
you knew how to just hit it
They
just
like
right.
40, 50 feet. Yeah. And everybody was in the back, and they were probably wondering why they were shaking back and forth. Because I would say, count one, Eddie. And you go, why? Just take a pick, you know? Eddie would go, all right, the fifth one over there. And I get right next to it, right? And just kick the wheel to the left, and the back end would come around and kick the thing out into a field. Yeah, that's what we did because we were bored in the middle of the night.
Yeah, and that's all during the insult poker thing.
Oh, that was the whole time period.
Yeah,
right?
this kind of led this into this story.
the-
That was horrible because, you know, did you explain what the insult poker was?
Well, I didn't say any
If
of the
somebody
insults.
won. No,
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you played much.
Yeah, well, because I was driving, but I did
were
play.
driving. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was a bunch of times when I played, like when Charlie was driving or something.
Right.
And, oh, yeah.
So whoever won couldn't insult anybody with whatever they said, and you couldn't say anything
you
back.
can't say anything back.
But this shit really got out of, you know, people went
really
way too
was
far.
brutal.
You know,
It was insane what went on.
we had to stop it.
We did.
Because it just got abusive at one point, man.
And everybody in TS
It stopped being funny really quick.
I don't know about it. It was funny. But
for a while,
but everybody in TS has such a big mouth, you know, and things would fly. And I got to say that you were the funniest guy at it. You were definitely the funniest guy.
Well, when I won, it was good because nobody could say anything back. But,
Exactly.
You know, it sucked when you lost because you'd have to
You get
just take
bombarded. You can't say anything.
So wait a minute, this is America.
Well,
man.
wasn't there a point where like there was a jar if you wanted to put money in it to get back at somebody, you put money in a jar? Didn't we have that rule after a while?
You could buy your way out of it.
Buy your way out of it.
I don't know.
I remember it's like if you really can't handle it anymore, you can put like $1 in this jar and you can go nuts on it. I thought we did that for a couple of
I
hands.
don't know, we weren't making that much money, so I don't
No,
think
yeah,
that was
exactly.
another thing. That was like,
We're all like living on peanut butter and jelly and like what like $1.50
was
salad
tough.
bars, right? Remember that?
That was
we go 100 miles out of the way to
right.
get a salad.
Oh, the all-you-can-eat buffets. You and D used to find them. Like,
Oh, yeah.
call back to the hotel. We found a buffet for $8, and then we'd go there and like eat for the entire day. You know, like one meal.
We had no money, so you had to like. You know, $4.55. You eat whatever you want, you know. And the people come over to us like, "You here 4 hours? You got to go now." You know. Oh yeah, whatever that joke was. But there was some funny stuff that really was.
Yes,
that was very funny stuff.
Good.
And
that was the Blackfoot tour, right? Blackfoot and
there was some dates with Blackfoot and a couple of other bands I think were in there at the time. Even though I didn't drink or do drugs, it's a blur to me.
Yeah, yeah, it's a blur to me too.
It's a blur to you too.
Not on stage, of course, but that was tough. That was the worst tour, and then most of the time we ended up doing it in cars because
well, in those beginning days, we did a lot of stuff in cars. We had 2 station wagons for a while then.
Yeah, and people think, you're on the road, hey man, have a great time, you're going to all these cities. I'm saying, we're like falling asleep on each other, saliva's coming out of people's mouths. And remember Charlie's hair used to be like a perfect L? He had
Charlie.
he had that fro, remember?
Oh, he had that
Brecker?
fro, and he'd sleep, and his hair would make a permanent.
Yeah, and then he would
left turn.
complain like, "What are we doing here? What am I?"
We're sitting here laughing, but there's so many things you just can't say. You know,
Yeah,
that really you can't comment on because it's not that nice. For us, it's very funny, but
Yeah,
it would be.
It was really, you know, the drooling and stuff, and people, you know, and there was a lot of odors going on. You know, there was like us and the crew, like
Right.
13 guys in one of those big vans,
a big van.
and somehow you used to find these. What you
What?
thought were shortcuts. you would get off the highway and all of a sudden we're like seeing like suburban homes. And you find this other path. I'm like, so what are we doing? Why are we off the highway?
So I found a better way to get
What
there.
are we doing?
I found a better way to get there.
Yeah, we got there, but
Didn't we? And in one piece, right?
yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was
worked.
good.
Man. Yeah, that's the whole thing. People just. I mean, it got better, but people think when you're on tour that it's such an.
Well, they think just the
they think
minute
you're
you
having
leave
this
home,
fantastic. Somebody's feeding you grapes,
Right.
and you're getting a massage, foot massage with grapes. It's that's what happens, man. There's a lot of drooling with man sweat, and it's not good. You know, people would tell my family, "Oh, what a great time it must be having going to all these cities." I'm like,
Yeah, everybody back home thinks you're living it up. And
And there
you're
was-
stuffed in a rent-a-car with like 6 other smelly guys.
and in the beginning, there was 3 to a room.
Yeah,
It was 3 of us,
3
in a
guys to a room.
and we had to take turns using the cot.
yeah.
Oh man.
Well, I thought it was the early days, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It was definitely.
No, it got better. Eventually.
Eventually. And not that much better.
Took a little too long, but you know. But man, that was rough. And,
yes,
and
it
even
was.
when you're touring in the tour bus, it's still, you're still in a bus with 12 other guys, and
Well, not always.
no, it was nice when we had the come out and get broke tour.
Come out and get broke tour. Come out and go broke tour.
Go broke tour. Yeah, we had 3. We each had, we had our own buses. Not each one of us, but I think UD.
Well, let's go back. Let's go back. There was the fun bus,
Right.
and then there was the no fun.
The no fun bus. Yeah.
It was like party bus and library bus. Yeah, that's really what it was. You remember that
Right,
stuff?
right.
Yeah. So and I was
it
on
was-
the no fun bus.
Yeah, and I think there was 2. Some of the crew was with me and AJ. Me and AJ were on the fun bus.
Yes, of course.
And you guys were on the no fun
D and
bus.
JJ and myself were on the no fun bus.
Right, and
it was quiet. It was.
And that's when we had the Iron Maiden used those buses.
Yes,
remember?
the Iron Maiden
They were
buses.
like full-size beds.
They were beautiful.
It was
buses,
like,
yeah.
but there was only
Buses.
4 beds.
Right.
So, I know that. I think Charlie was on our bus.
Right.
Me, AJ, Charlie. It was only like 4 of us on the bus. When we were traveling, and then there was a separate bus for the
crew.
other crews.
Yes.
Because when we did the come out and play
Did you
tour,
have Sal on your bus too?
Sal was on our
Sal
bus.
was on the bus.
Yeah.
Sal was one of our security guards, bodyguards that traveled.
And Victor
with us.
too.
And Vic. We're not going to go there with it.
Vic with the no pants.
Right, Vic with the no pants and
Yeah.
too dark to use flash. He used to do that.
That's the camera that
Yeah,
talked.
we're not going to go there.
My talking camera.
We're not going to go. Vic was Vic's a great guy. I haven't spoken to him in 30 years, but he was a lot of fun.
Yeah, he was. He
Great
was
guy.
definitely, and he worked
guy.
with Queen and
Mick
Rolling-
Jagger.
and the Rolling Stones. Yeah, he was Jagger's guy. He was Freddie's guy.
Yeah.
And he had some funny stories about.
They're definitely funny stories.
He had
but
some great stories.
the fun bus and the no fun bus.
Right.
And I used to drive our bus all the time. You know that?
Yeah, I know. I remember when we were all on the same bus.
Yeah.
Especially then, but I'm sure you drove the no fun bus too, right? All the time.
Oh yeah, all the
The
time.
drivers loved you. They were like,
Yeah, they only held you
because
work
they were sleeping.
Yeah, they were on the couch
And you're
sleeping.
like 4 o'clock in the morning.
What was that?
And then 41 Texas 25 6 over.
Oh yeah, remember I used to say
Yeah, you knew that whole rap thing.
yeah on the CB, right?
Yeah. I tried to get on it once, and the guy said, "Hey, who's the village idiot?" Because I tried to do that lingo and it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work, right?
No, it was really bad.
Yeah, but I didn't know what I honestly didn't know what I was saying.
Well, you picked it up good. I remember you were talking to them with that whole.
A little bit, but a lot of it I was just going.
I'm on the 812 with a 5.6.
I'm going back down right to you, right now. I'll bring it on back to you.
590 going back.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or radar,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I had no clue what I was really saying.
Those guys, I don't know. It was you. They used to talk to you. The one time I tried it, didn't work.
You were driving?
No, I wasn't driving. You were driving. I said, "Oh, let me try it." And then I said something silly.
I remember on our the headline tour for Come Out for Stay Hungry.
Yeah.
And we had a great bunch of drivers, and I was driving a lot. And if you remember,
the tractor trailers
I drove also because I have Class A license. But the funny part is. Remember, a couple of guys when we were on the road, some of the drivers it was their birthday, so I would look at their license, and today's your birthday or tomorrow's your birthday. Guess what? We only got like a 5 or 6 hour ride. You give me your truck, your tractor trailer, let me the keys, let me the logbook, and everything like that, and you go on the fun bus. Really? That's your birthday gift from the band? Because they never got to do that. They never got to go on the tour bus.
We were good with
professional drivers. Yeah, so I remember that. I remember it was Mark Henderson's birthday, and I said, we got like a 5.5 hour ride. He goes, yeah. So give me your keys. You go in the tour bus, and all you got to do is be able to drive tomorrow night. I don't care what you do. And he couldn't believe it because he never did it before. In all his years of driving, he never was on a tour bus.
Well, they were getting paid, and you're doing.
Well, that was his gift. You had a night off.
Yeah, and the tractor trailers. I remember one time we were at a truck stop, and you were ignoring us. You had like a diesel fuel hat on.
Diesel fuel hat.
And you're hanging out with all these bus drivers, truck drivers at the counter, like one of those. And those
was I?
Yeah, you were like. You guys were eating, and you look at us like a damn band over here. It's like, I think you got a southern accent for a while. And it's like,
southern accent? I've never had a southern accent.
But it was funny. Like we walk in, so Mark's sitting over. Is that Mark? And you're sitting with all the bus drivers and truck drivers. They all loved you, man, because. You'd back up the whole tractor trailer. And
I did it all.
That
was easy. A lot of people don't know that. I had a Class A and
that was they loved it. What was Mickey Mo, right? Remember
Mickey Mo Johnson?
Right. He used to call everybody Johnson.
Yeah, he'd call you Johnson.
Yeah,
yeah.
So that he never got in trouble. He could forget your name, right? And he would say, "Hey, Johnson." Everybody was Johnson.
Everybody was Johnson. Yeah, there was. I don't know if you remember this one ride with him, Mickey Mo. And if you're out there, Mickey Mo, we miss you, man. You're a great guy. We had a lot of fun with you. But there was a ride. We were in California, and I believe we were in L.A., and we had to go to, or maybe even north of that. Maybe we were in Sacramento or San Francisco. We had to go up to, like, Portland, Oregon. It was a long ride. And I remember partway through the ride. Mm-hmm. And I happened to be just come up front. I was sleeping, use the bathroom, go up and check on him because he's going to be driving all night. And he says to me, "We just left. Wherever we left, we're only on the road about an hour or two." And we all went right to sleep. Yeah. So I go up front and I check on Mickey Mo, right? And he goes, "Yo, Johnson." Like he always does. "Yo, Johnson, you do me a favor. I got to use the bathroom. You want to drive for a few minutes?" "Yeah, okay, Mickey, no problem, man. Let me jump in, right?" So in a tour bus, you could do a flying change. Yeah. He could stand up, and just stand over there, hold on the wheel. You jump in the seat, and you continue on, man. All right, so here I am. I'm driving. I'm cruising all night. All night.
What happened to Mickey Mouse?
I don't know. So the sun is coming up, right? The sun's coming up, and we got to be like 7 or 8 hours into this ride, at least, if not even 9 or 10. And now, the sun is up, man, and it's tough. I don't have my sunglasses. So D comes up, sits with a cup of coffee, and he sits next to me. He goes, "You want a cup of coffee, man?" I said, "Oh, yeah, please." So he goes back and grabs me coffee. I said, "D, do me a solid, man. Grab my duffel bag, get me my sunglasses in the case in my duffel bag." So he did. He went in bed, he comes up, and he sits in the jump seat next to me, and he goes, "How long have you been driving?" It's like, "All night."
So
You're kidding. He goes,
sleeping.
"How much further we got?" I said, "We got about another 2 hours, and we'll be at the hotel." I said, "Yeah." He goes, what happened to Mickey? Did he get off? No, he said he had to use the bathroom. He wasn't feeling well. Maybe he fell in or something. So anyway, we drive. Dee's next to me. I think you stayed in bed, and the rest of the guys, JJ and AJ, came up and sat here too, and one of them was making some sort of breakfast sandwiches, and I'm sitting there just driving along. Yeah. So here we are. Here's the exit off the interstate, right? And pull around, man, downshift through the gears, and pull into the hotel parking lot. Mickey comes up front like, oh, man, that was great. I wasn't feeling good, but I'm good to drive now. Where are we? I said, we're at the hotel. You're getting a day's pay doc because I drove all night. He goes,
document days pay for napping on
Absolutely.
the job.
That's for sleeping on the job. You slept all night. You're kidding me. No, you better sleep for 10 hours, man. I drove for 10 hours. I was Mickey Mo.
Yeah, that's.
Mickey
I mean,
Johnson.
I'm sure he didn't mind that.
No, that night he didn't mind, and they didn't mind because I probably drove at least a third to half the time for them. Yeah. And they sat in the back and watched movies and enjoyed everything because they never got someone to drive, and someone had the license to drive.
I remember, like, another thing, even with the nice bus, sometimes, you know, we got hungry, and the only thing you could get is a burrito, like a 7-Eleven burrito.
Oh.
And, I mean, that was nasty, man. Like having to eat, but there was like nothing else, you know. Or you could put a pizza in the microwave and then come out.
Yeah, but we used to take all the stuff from the dressing room, like.
Well, yeah, we started doing that.
Yeah,
those sandwiches. Like Frankie started doing that.
Yeah, you get the deli sandwiches, which weren't that good.
That was but that's like, it wasn't like this world 80 days around the world tour that everybody thinks that, you know.
Yeah, it never happened that much.
No, I mean, we did have some nice dinners and stuff. But
without a doubt.
When you're on the road, it's like sometimes you just got to stop at these places, and it's like scary. I mean, oh man, I remember that one time. I think we're going through Nebraska, and JJ had one of those bags, and you know he was dressed kind of, you know, very New York City,
New York City-ish.
And I think he had the boots on and, you know, the long hair, and he had one of them bags. And we're in like middle America, and the looks that we used to get when we walked into a place, it was like, oh man, you know, it was scary a few times, you know.
Yeah, like, you had me there. You don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, and one time in Texas, I remember, I forgot which part of Texas, but we're in a diner across the street from the hotel, and all of a sudden it's 2 o'clock in the morning and the bar's let out. So all of a sudden all these guys coming in, you know, like hey, high with the big buckles and the cowboy. It was like 35 guys with cowboy hats and giant buckles. You know, nothing against. Look, I'm not saying anything against the cowboy look. That's cool if you want to do that, but you know, they weren't digging us too much, man.
No, not at all.
And they were saying, "Look at them hippies over there." Like,
was I there?
I think.
Remember that one?
I think you were there, but we said we better leave. So luckily we were done eating. But man, it was. They definitely wanted to, you know, stir things up a bit.
Well, drunken cowboys always want to fight.
Yeah, so, well, you know, back in the day, people were a little more, like, less tolerant of guys with long hair. And now everything goes. You can have a shaved head. You can have half a mustache, you know.
Half a mustache?
Half a mustache, yeah. Or you can have one of them twirly ones, you know. The same guy in the band, one guy will have hair down to his butt, and the other guy will have a bald head, you know, or a mohawk. I think it's kind of cool that people have lightened up, you know.
Oh, it's definitely cool. I mean, things become much more calmer and universal.
Yeah, in some cases.
So, in most places.
There's still places that, you know, there's a lot.
Sure.
There's a lot of stuff going on, but I think things have gotten better for the sake of how it was back in, you know, even just 30 years ago.
Think about it. When I started touring in the 70s.
Well, that's right. You were with
the Dictators. Yeah, that was even rough. It was even rougher, if you could say.
Yeah, with Kiss. You guys toured with Kiss.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. There were some rough times in that band too. Going in the middle of nowhere places. Yeah, without a doubt.
It was. I can imagine.
You know, it's always interesting You know, you think back, you look back at some of these things, and even before I was in Twisted Sister, when I was in the Dictators, touring the country, and what it looked like and what it represented, and the things that I saw. When I was in the Dictators, and my first time in California, we happened to. Not only did I see Van Halen before they were Van Halen, which is a story that I tell often because I cherish those days.
They were playing the whiskey and stuff.
They were playing the
Troubadour.
Whiskey, they were called Mammoth. But
they were amazing when they did cover stuff.
They were always a great band.
A friend of mine has some of the tapes.
But I remember my first time in L.A., and I had known some people out there that moved out there many years before that, even when I was young, real young. And I hooked up with them, and I got to see something that most people never saw and thought only existed in the movies. I got to see a bare knuckle fight. People bet on it.
Oh, really? Like the Clint Eastwood thing?
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I was getting at. And, you know, you think about that. I mean, I'm sure it exists. But
it's still going on. I know a guy that does that.
But I remember we got in a car, his car, and we drove. We had to go there right before the sun came up. I don't know which direction we went out of L.A. I just don't remember. But it was out of L.A., and we headed out to the desert someplace, and there was this huge cement plant looking thing with silos, and it was a Saturday morning, so the plant wasn't open, and here's everybody pulling in, all kinds of vehicles. It has got to be 300 or 400 people there in this huge circle, you know, and then a van pulls up, one guy gets out, and another sedan pulled up, and another guy gets out, and they both take their shirts off, and, you know, there was one guy who was handling everything, and people are betting money and handing money back and forth. I'm saying to myself, this looks just like a movie. Yeah. And these guys went at it, you know. There was really no referee, no one to stop them.
No, there was.
But there was someone to stop if someone was knocked out or someone was seriously hurt. They stopped the fight.
Right.
But I mean, they're bare knuckle fights, man.
Just brutal.
It was incredible. I saw two in Southern California back in the '70s. I couldn't even remember where it was though. That's how long it was. It was incredible.
Well, it's kind of like the cage fighting now, and in some states, I think the bare knuckle thing is legal. You can actually do it. You can promote it.
I mean, I'm familiar with the MMA, the UFC fighting and stuff like that, but I don't know much about bare knuckle fighting anymore.
I think I'm sure.
But I happen to you know, be a boxing fan, especially back then, and go to see a bare knuckle, two guys really duke it out for real. That don't even know each other.
Like Clint.
Like Clint Eastwood. Yeah, absolutely. So that's what comes up. So when you're touring, you get to see, come on, you can't tell me we didn't find and see a lot of unique things.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you don't remember a lot of it.
I remember most of it. I mean, it's just something.
I don't remember
once one thing, like, sets it off, then a whole bunch of things started coming. Like sometimes I forget things and somebody might say something that sets off a bunch of things.
We made good friends with a lot of people.
Oh, definitely.
Over the years.
Definitely.
Lemmy, for one.
Lemmy was great.
Lemmy, when he told us to come and get you.
In England.
Yeah, remember that? Come and get him.
I kind of talked his head off a bit.
A little
He used to play with the machines, remember, with the pinball?
Oh, absolutely. Lemmy was a pinball player.
Yeah, and that after-hours place with that guy named Cherry, or I forgot what's, down the street from, in London, down the street from, what was that big club that we played in? The Marquee Club.
The Marquee. Oh, where they turned the heat on.
Yeah.
In the middle of summer, no air conditioning, turned the heat on, so you drank more. Literally 115 degrees in this place.
It was a cool place to play, though. There was a great vibe there.
It wasn't cool about it, though.
No, it wasn't cool.
Wasn't
cool. You know, everybody played the Marquee Club. And you know, we used to pack the first time we played there, it was packed. And
it was
like we were in New York.
For us, it was pandemonium. It was incredible.
And then down the block, there was a place called the St. Regis something. And
it was an after-hours.
It was an after-hours club, and people like Lemmy would be there like, all night with the whatever machine was there. Like Jeff Beck would come in, all kinds.
We had everybody there.
Like everybody would come there at the when all the bars closed. It was really cool. And see, this just reminded me.
Yeah, right. Come on,
I'm there with AJ because most of you guys used to to go back to the rooms early.
I would peter out pretty early.
You know, once in a while you came with us. Once in a while, D would never kind of.
Rarely.
Yeah, because he didn't drink at all. So, but it used to be great there because we'd go and he was always like, I mean, I don't think we even paid for drinks or anything. But there was one time I'm there with AJ, and I don't know, you weren't there. So me, AJ, Lemmy was always there. And bunch of other guys, I think, from the other guys from maybe Eddie, I think Pete Way. So it depends, but there was a guy, remember, I don't know if you remember that bathroom. It was, you used to have to walk up a flight of stairs. And it looked like one of those old bathrooms you see in the woods, like a latrine, like outhouse, right, yeah. And it's like, it was like on boards and stuff. It was pretty nasty. Like, it wasn't something, you didn't want a two there, you know, you wanted to, there was definitely a one.
You wanted to stay.
It was a oneer and, you know, from a distance.
Yeah, from a distance.
So there's a guy that used the bathroom, right? And his shit blew up. I mean, everything just exploded. And AJ went to use the bathroom, and he goes, "Oh my God!" And he goes down, and he says, "You got to see this, man." I said, "What happened?" He goes, "This guy, you know, blew up in the bathroom." I mean, it was on the walls, the ceiling.
Oh, really?
How do you get shit on the ceiling? That's a good name for an album, I guess. Shit on the ceiling. You know, so how does that happen? Do you bend over and blow it out? I mean, I don't know. It's like, you know, and shite, you know, the famous shite story.
The famous, AJ's famous.
Well, the shite story was just, I think Dee was the one that did it on one of the talk shows. But that was the famous Scottish guy. But anyway, the Scottish people would say shite instead of
right.
So it was. I mean, I went in. I just opened the door to look at it, and it was like, it was unbelievable. It looked like somebody had taken like a big pile of shit
and put an
M80 in it, or two of them, and it just blew up. You know, I don't know how you get it on the walls, and I mean, the guy was really sick. I think it was gross, man.
But in that bathroom, it kind of blended in with the decor.
Well, it was, yeah. I mean,
it was pretty nasty.
I feel bad for the person that had to clean it, but
I don't think they cleaned it. They just let it dry. In that place, that bath. I mean, the club itself was.
The club was nice,
but the bathroom.
Sweetie, that was the guy who owned. That was his name.
Right.
Sweetie. Yeah, he was. He loved all the rock guys coming in. So, especially in London, you know, it was like, you know, Phil Lynott, guys from the Thin Lizzy would come down.
Thin Lizzy, Phil Lynott.
Yeah, Phil.
A good friend.
It was a fun. We had a fun time there.
How about
He said shit literally had a fan.
and the Hotel Edward. Oh,
that's what I was saying. Remember Hotel Edward, and who was our favorite desk guy? Saeed.
Saeed, right.
So Saeed. Hotel Edward. Who knows if it's still there or anything? We haven't been there since.
It's a good location, right across from Hyde Park.
Yeah, right across from Hyde Park. So when we first got there the first time, and we were given our room keys, and we take the elevator up, which virtually only one person could.
We had the full fifth floor.
Yeah, we had, where there wasn't much.
With one bathroom.
The one bathroom. But I open my door and I walk into the room, and I remember you're in the next room, okay, and you hear me go, "Oh man, crap!" And you didn't even go to your door. You come over, and I touched both walls like this, right?
Yeah, it was tiny.
I put my hands out and touched both walls. I couldn't do front to back, but I did side to side. Front to back was only about another 3 feet.
Right.
And there was a little tiny sink in there and no bathroom. It was a bed.
It was one bathroom that everybody on the fifth floor
had to use one bathroom and shower.
Yeah.
But there was a little tiny sink with a small mirror and a light, and there was a bed. and there was a little table.
That was more like a cot. The size of it was hot.
But it was also one of them hot dog buns where you lay in it and the thing comes around you, right? Just put some mustard on me because I'm a hot dog.
They should have paid us to stay there.
They should have.
I mean, I can't believe, but that was, the regular company. You're staying
two
here.
stories. Well, there was a lot of stories about that place, but
it was fun. It was a fun
when
place.
I believe the London soccer team won, and they had we were trying to sleep, and the guy with the air horn going, and I hear you in the next room.
I was crying.
I was crying because it was running out of air.
He was running.
But there was thousands.
He was trying to do a song with it.
Right. There was thousands of people on the street, right? And it was.
Oh, it was dangerous, man.
What's that?
You couldn't walk around in the streets.
Man,
once the soccer game was over,
it was done. But the guy's playing,
it started petering out.
So, but one of the funniest nights, and I don't know if you were there. Do you remember when Dee climbed up on the outside ledge?
Yeah.
We're on the 5th floor.
Oh, God.
And he passes, you got to sleep with the windows.
The thing is that we had the top floor, and the ledge of the roof was, we could walk
around. There's no railing.
We could get into each other's rooms.
Yeah. So, where
the
you had to
window.
sleep with the windows open because there's no air conditioning.
yeah, it was horrible.
And it's just the roof. You're on the top floor. It's like 95 degrees in there, even in London.
Right.
Even in a cloudy day. It was hot. So I hear D next to me opening up his windows, right? And then I can hear him getting on the ledge, and he comes over and he goes, "Psst, Mendoza, you awake?" "Yeah, man, what's up?" He goes, "I'm going to go jump on Puma."
Yeah, Mark
Right?
Puma.
Okay, man, cool.
That was our manager at the
Our
time.
manager at the time, Mark Puma. So I guess he
great
was
guy,
supposed to
Mark.
be in the room next to me.
Yeah.
Because you were in the room next to D.
Right.
It was you, D, me, and then it was Mark.
There was
Puma.
only like
6 rooms
six
on the floor.
or six rooms. It was
the other
us
guys
and
were
Charlie.
underneath us.
Yeah.
So he passes me, right? He passes my room. Remember, all he has on is sweats and bare feet. There's no shirt, no anything, right? And it's dark. I mean, everybody's asleep. So the
remember
window's
that.
open, and he jumps in, thinking that he's jumping in on top of Mark Puma. And I hear some guy let out a curdling scream. I'm like, "Oh man, D!" I'm saying, and the guy's
the
going,
wrong room,
"Who
yeah.
are you? What are you doing in here? I'll throw you through the window." And D comes running past me. He goes, "I just jumped on the wrong guy." He goes back to his room.
It was-
I remember the manager came up knocking on the doors. "Who did this? Who did?" "Oh, sleep. What are you talking about?" "Oh yeah, he jumped in on the wrong person."
And if, the one good thing is if somebody was asleep and couldn't answer the door, and we had someplace. I remember we had to be up at 2 o'clock in the morning to shoot a video somewhere.
Right.
And I couldn't. I fell asleep and I was out. Because I had gone to the marquee. I had some drinks and I was out. And Joe comes through the window and says, "Hey," I went, "What?" He goes, "We're doing a video." I said, "It's 2 a.m." I forgot.
I just got in an hour
Yeah, I
ago.
just got in. I got in at 1, and then we went to shoot the video. I think it might have been the
Can't Stop Rock and Roll video.
Can't Stop Rock and Roll
was it,
video.
yes.
Which with the little bikes and
Right.
that,
The bicycles
and the van,
gas,
the leaky gas
right,
tank.
the leaky gas tank.
We-
You
I
guys
mean,
hit that bump. You could have blown up.
Yeah,
Right, with me driving.
that could have been it,
Yeah,
man.
that could have been it.
Probably would have sold a lot more records. But I mean, they didn't care. They tell us afterwards.
I know. The gas tank's not safe in that.
And AJ on the drum set, that was pretty funny. That little turn around the
Right.
corner.
Yeah.
That's still a funny
AJ hopping
video.
around the corner.
Like the English guys,
Yeah.
and there were the
It was a
like
good
the two
song. It's
detectives.
a great song.
Yeah.
Definitely a great song. And it was a very fun. It was a fun video to make.
Yeah,
too.
and we did it all in London,
Yeah,
so it was.
And we did it in one day.
One day.
One day.
One
the whole thing.
long day.
One day. It's a long time.
Yeah.
We were on the scene before the sun came up, and we were there.
And I had like an hour sleep,
Yeah,
and so I was hungover too.
You were hungover. You were in a
I was
right
toasty.
form. You were more than toasty, my man. More than toasty.
But
More than
the
toasty.
coffee got me through it. We got, but hey, it's amazing.
Some coffee.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
It was just dark.
I
and
wish I would've
twisted.
had
It was right. Dark.
This coffee then.
Eddie needed dark and twisted in those days.
Yeah, there was no Star, whatever.
No, but-
there wasn't even Dunkin' Donuts in London.
Yeah.
It was just tea.
It was just what?
Tea.
Yeah, it's just tea.
Cup of tea.
A cup of tea.
Cup of tea.
Go back to the Iron Maiden tour.
Oh.
Do you remember crossing Canada in the winter?
Oh yes, when the bus almost went. Was
Yeah, when the bus driver ran past us, because we almost hit another. We're all sitting there, and the bus driver gets up and runs past us. Like there's no one sitting in the driver's seat because we're heading to the edge of a cliff and also going to hit the back of a tractor trailer. It's ice. And we're just lucky it caught the snow and stopped. And he comes back up to the bus, and I go, "We're in the middle of nowhere, so you're not fired yet. When we get to the next city, you'll be looking for a new job." "Oh, I'm not going to sit there. You're going too fast. We told you that."
I was in the bathroom at the time, and I think it was one of those nights I had a few beers and
No, just a few. One of those nights?
A few nights, one of those nights.
Okay.
And I went to the bathroom, and then I just decided to sit there, and I fell asleep in the bathroom. And all of a sudden, so I was and then I wake up, I come out of the bathroom, we almost went over a cliff, so I wouldn't have felt the thing.
No, you would have been out cold. You would have been just there for the run.
Yeah,
That's all,
maybe the toilet bowl might have saved me or something.
maybe.
I mean, I wasn't sitting with I went because we couldn't do a number 2 because that was not allowed.
Yeah, not allowed.
But you know, I just did my thing, and then I just decided to sit down and fell asleep.
Right, you fell asleep in the bathroom.
That wasn't comfortable. Living on a little sink.
Oh.
Yeah, that was tough. And then so I clearly remember, you know, that we almost bit the dust. You know, it was really bad.
It was bad.
Yeah. I'm glad I didn't see that because everybody was pretty freaked out.
Okay, so one other thing we got to talk about that was pretty funny. Where did I get the duck hunting outfit from?
Where
was that Canada?
You used it in Canada, yeah.
No, I think I bought it in Canada.
Did you buy it in Canada?
Yeah, because I remember we all left New York with our leather jackets and T-shirts and nothing else.
Right.
I was frozen, and you guys are freezing. And I saw the sporting goods store, right? I walk across the street. I would come back with warm clothing on, really nice
and the hat
and boots.
And the waterproof boots.
Waterproof boots. And I walk in the bus, and what do? Go.
You were ahead of your time, like Duck Dynasty. You were already dressing like that, you know. And me and JJ were making fun of you.
Yeah, right.
But we went outside. Yeah. It was so damn cold.
Remember, it was
and we had like the cool leather jackets.
It was -16 when we walked outside.
Oh yeah.
Leather jackets.
It was brutal, man.
It was brutal. But
I was up in Winnipeg or something like that.
Yeah, but I remember I was warm.
Yeah.
I was toasty.
Yeah, you used to have I mean, I think they had block heaters for the cars because it was so cold.
Yeah, but they never shut the motors off.
Okay.
They never start again.
You mean the?
So I think it took us on the Iron Maiden tour. I believe it was a little more than 3 weeks to cross with all the shows and stuff.
Yeah.
To cross Canada to British Columbia, and during that whole time, all we would do is shut the motors off and check the fluid levels, the oil and the antifreeze. Not that things are gonna overheat in that temperature, but you would check all the fluids, and because there was no place to plug them in a lot of places up there, you just had to leave them running. You had to leave the diesel engines running; they would never restart. So we virtually didn't shut everything off for about 3.5 weeks.
Wow, that was a great tour.
The Iron Maiden tour was amazing.
The World Slavery Tour,
and they were great guys, man. They still are.
They still are. Still a great band too.
Yeah, and they also.
Yeah, we hung out a lot. I hung out with Dave and Adrian a lot of times.
Yeah, Dave and Adrian also asked us to pick you up. Wait. I think those two guys had to go to the hospital.
Dave had a really bad the next day. He couldn't even do sound check.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dave. Well, you know, we had a night out, you know, and
it was more than a night out.
I think we cleaned the bus with our jackets, like walking on the side of the bus, like. And then we went up to the room and we were attempting to show each other versions of Foxy Lady. Like he had.
You were playing guitar.
Yeah, we were playing guitar for a little while, and then then the next day we I think not Bruce.
Adrian.
No, not Adrian.
Who? Dave?
Steve.
Steve Harris, yeah.
Yeah. So, I remember he comes in and goes, "What'd you do to Dave?"
Yeah, right. What'd you do to my guitar players?
And then he comes in with that elephant nose thing.
Right.
It was we had some great times with them. They were a really great band to tour with.
Yeah, great guys.
And it was like every night it was like 17 to 20,000. The place was packed. And when you're the opening band, it's usually not packed when you're opening, but they were there to see us too. And Maiden loved it because we would get the audience really riled up.
The audience nuts.
Yeah.
How about the 4 nights in Long Beach, California?
Oh, that was something.
There you go.
That's too long to stay in one place.
Especially for you.
Yeah, well, I had to go to LA every day. I was like,
I know. I had to pick you up once.
Yeah, that was. Hey, it was the '80s.
Yeah, it was the '80s. I'm surprised you remembered it, but it was the '80s.
Oh, I remember that week. We did the Pee Wee Herman movie that week too.
Was it that week?
Yeah.
The Pee Wee Herman movie.
I'm pretty sure it was that week.
I thought it was separate from that, but I just don't remember.
Yeah.
I do remember picking you up at dawn one day.
At dawn.
At dawn, not the crack of dawn, like the sun comes up. Not at Dawn's house.
I know. No. Or a person named Dawn. Yeah.
Or a person named Dawn.
Yeah, well, it was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
The next day,
Long Beach was a lot of fun.
Long Beach was great.
Are you sure you remember it?
Yeah, I remember Long Beach. Sure.
Okay. It was 4 nights in a row.
4 nights in a row, yeah. I mean, the shows
Sold
went
out.
great. Yeah,
The shows were
went great.
amazing.
Yeah, so, and like I said, everybody was there at 8 o'clock to see us too.
Do you remember Chicago?
Oh yeah, when I was late, that's what happened was me and Mickey. I think Mickey Mo was driving, and he went to a different hotel than you guys were at.
Exactly.
So, you know, when we got there, I checked into my room, and you know, all of a sudden, you know, I wake up because there was no cell phones or anything, and so you guys didn't know what
We
hotel.
didn't know where to find you.
Yeah, we had no
clue. So we can skip a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to go on anyway.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there's 4 of us,
Yeah.
and we're getting ready to go on, and we're standing near the emergency exit. Remember that?
Yeah.
And you're banging on the outside
Outside
garage door, going, king, 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 let me in, let me out, don't go on without me, let me in. So tell the security guard, that's Eddie Ojeda out there, open the door, you come in, I got to get dressed. No, here's your guitar, man, you're going
No,
on.
I got dressed.
Yeah, but you real quickly.
It was fast, and then I actually even put the makeup on. 10 minutes, I got ready.
Let me in. Let me in.
The thing is, I had woken up, you know, I fell asleep, and I look at the clock, and I go, oh, it's 7:30.
7:30
So I'm going to go back to sleep, you know, and then I'm like, I said, that's got to be AM, because you know he was driving. We checked in. You know, it was still nighttime, so I didn't realize I slept all day because we got there early in the morning.
Like 18 hours.
No, it wasn't 18 hours, but I slept. You know, we got there. It was dark, but it was probably like 6 in the morning, or you know, when it's still dark in the winter, and I look at the thing and I go, that's got to be AM. You know, so I just said, let me call the desk. I said, I have a question. Is it 7 a.m., 7:30 a.m. or p.m.? She says PM. I go, oh shit, call me a cab. I don't know how I did it. They got me a cab.
I remember we're standing there and you're banging on the door.
Man, but I made it.
I gotta go on. Let me go on.
The thing, that was the weirdest thing ever, because all of a sudden we're in front of 21,000 people.
Yeah.
And if you just woke up and you put on makeup, like all nervous going, and like all of a sudden,
How does that go again?
And the 4 of you are looking at me like, I'm like, I said, you know, this is nothing. I just overslept. And had you known where I was, it wouldn't have happened. But luckily, I made it in time. And but it was so. I'll never forget that day. Plus, it was talk about the Windy City.
Oh yeah.
I got out of the cab, my bag almost flew into the air. I'm like, then I'm banging on the door. The winds are.
You came in, your hair was sticking straight.
Yeah, it was like
it was so windy.
Oh man,
you look like you just went through a storm.
That was. I don't know how I was able to do it, but you know, after 15 minutes or so, I got into the show. The show went great. I mean, I was glad I made it, because I had never, you know, I would have hated to miss a show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we had to go on. We had no choice. We'd do a 4-piece.
But luckily, I made it in time, man.
We were happy too.
It was. That day it is wild to get, you know, because you're not going to some small club. You're in an arena with 21,000 people. That was one of those big Canadian arenas, and no, I mean Chicago. I forgot which arena. Yeah, like it was Chicago's Madison Square Garden, or whatever their version of it. I don't know what they call it
anymore. Wow.
But that was mind blowing. I'll never forget that, because it's just a shock to wake up and
go on stage.
You
might have just slept on a couch.
It's like I felt like I was in my underwear or something. I was like, how did I get dressed? I was, you know, within 20 minutes I got dressed, got my, you know, and got on stage. You know, because the hotel. Luckily, the hotel was only 20 minutes away.
Right.
So I got there like 10 to 8. Oh wow. Yeah, that was. The Where's Eddie? I'm surprised you guys didn't make Where's Eddie shirts.
Where's Eddie shirts? We kept saying that. Where's Eddie? Where's Eddie?
I made it though. You know.
Oh.
Well, Dee's had some, even recently. Remember that time Dee? you know, he took something to help him sleep on the plane.
Oh yeah, that's right. He had to travel by himself because he had something to do.
Right,
here.
he came the day of show. Yeah.
Right. So he gets on. I mean, I could have a little bit wrong, but we had to travel ahead of him because he had to stay home for an extra day. And in Twisted Land, we try to travel a day and a half before, in case you miss a connecting flight or something doesn't work out, because we didn't want to ever miss a show and not get paid for it.
And stuff did happen.
Stuff happened, and we got there on time.
Delayed
but
flights.
D left the morning of the day of the show. Yeah. So he gets on the flight, and I guess he was working on a movie or working on something, and he takes something to help him sleep. So the flight hadn't taken off yet, and he sits there and he falls asleep. he falls asleep, right? And he
5 hours.
He wakes up 5 hours later, right? Wakes up and looks to the guy who's sitting next to him and goes, "Oh, we landed already?" And he goes, "Landed? We haven't taken off yet." And he's like, "What? I just slept 5 hours." He goes, "Bad weather, we can't leave."
Yeah.
They've been on the plane for 5 hours, sitting there.
And, and we're all waiting for him like that.
Yeah. Remember the horror of waiting up, and now you still got to make that transatlantic flight? And be awake for it?
We had to get him a helicopter.
Yeah. Actually, when he landed in, I can't remember what city it was, we actually couldn't wait to get him ground transportation. We had a helicopter.
Yeah,
we had a helicopter waiting for him.
Yeah, we had to get a helicopter.
Right in. He came right in, and we went right on stage. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, I mean, right on stage.
That was one of his.
That was an Eddie
minute
move.
Yeah, it was an Eddie moment.
Eddie Ojeda move.
He had an Eddie moment.
Come up to the last minute. I'll never forget.
And he was all freaked out too. I mean, he was,
but him telling that once the show was done and we're all in the van heading back to the hotel.
Like, what happened?
And he's funny about it. He's telling us, "Yes, so I slept and I woke up," and the horror to know that we hadn't even taken off yet, and I was already asleep for 5.5 hours.
That must have sucked.
Oh, that's got to be horrible. Because I don't know about you, but I hate it. Listen, I love touring and I love playing. I hated the travel.
The travel.
I always said that I played for free. I get paid to travel because that was painful at times. I don't care how nice the plane is, first class, no class. We always traveled really nicely in business or first class, and it was always that kind of thing. But I'll tell you what, when you traveled the way we did, it was never comfortable.
No.
It was never. You'd go to Europe and you'd spend more time in the air,
right?
And go there and play a show
and come home.
Not even sleep. Pack your stuff and get on a flight and come home, man. It's like, and you do it like every weekend or every other weekend in a row for like 16 or 18 weekends.
Like Heathrow became like Grand Central Station to us. So like everybody,
it became Penn Station.
Yeah, like
we knew where to go. We knew where
Heathrow. We knew all the terminals because we had to. We were always changing flights there.
Always.
I said, this is like a week. Like every week we're here. You know, like the same. I think they got to know us in the shops.
Right. It was Groundhog Day.
Right. It was like the terminal. I'm like, oh no.
The terminal. Right. You can never leave. Yeah, some of the flights are great. Yeah. How about the one thing, I always have such fond memories of AJ. We always had such a great time with him. He's a very funny guy.
Yeah.
But I remember it was one time we got on a flight, and for some reason, where we sat, you were stuck between me and AJ.
Oh, God. Yeah, that was awful. That was the worst.
It was nonstop. I mean, kidding around, of course, fighting and arguing, right?
Well, that was just while the plane
was on the ground. It didn't even take off yet.
Yeah.
So this actually escalates into fighting and picking on each other. You're stuck in the middle because AJ and I are fighting.
I know.
And
you guys expand when you sit down. Like all of a sudden, I'm in the middle.
Well, he does more than I do.
It was like torture.
How would he go? He would sit down. What would happen?
He would expandula. I would call him. Or Expandenstein.
Lay back, right, and his arm.
Oh yeah, like arms laying and like. And he used to say, "I have trouble sleeping."
Right. The minute he sat down,
the whole time, I'm like trouble sleeping.
But we finally take off, and the people around us are laughing. Remember that?
Yeah, but I wasn't laughing.
No, you weren't laughing. So what happens is, when they turn the seatbelt sign off, it goes bing. And what did you do?
Click it right away, man. I jumped into an empty seat as fast as I could. Because I had to make sure that we were up and that nobody was going to sit there.
Right.
Thank God there was
a seat to go to.
A seat to go to. and get away, because that was like one of those 8-hour flights or something.
Yeah, was it?
I wouldn't have made it, or I would have killed somebody.
You would rather have taken Jolly Fat Sweethawk in the London, right?
Right. Yeah, with the chickens coming out of the bottom.
Right.
What's that?
Want to see the movie again?
Yeah.
The baseball card movie?
What's that, Coach?
You're right. What's that, Coach? Yeah, it was great stuff, man. I mean, just funny stuff.
Oh, there was. I think I don't know if I told you, but I think it was one of the flights that I was sitting next to, like an older couple, you know, like really old, like in their 70s, maybe close to 80, man and woman, you know. So they were very nice, but so the woman's sitting next to me. So, you know, she gets up and goes to the bathroom. You know, I had an aisle seat. So I said, well, let me go, because that's when we were traveling coach most all the time, and you know, back in the early days. And I remember going, and it was Air India, I think. That was another thing. Like, it was interesting flights, man. So all of a sudden, you know, I said, oh, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Now she forgets to lock the freaking door. You know, I'm like, so I open the door, and here she is with the panties down to here, man, legs spread. This is like a 75-year-old woman, and she goes, ah! And I just went blind. I went, oh no! I'll never get that out of my. I'm still like having freaked out. I get freaked out thinking about it, man, because it was like. And now I had to go back and sit next to her, and she tells her husband what just happened, and he leans forward and looks at me like, you think I wanted to see this? I did this, you know, that left like a damage. Did some
damage your eyes, right?
I was like, No, I didn't just see that. Yeah, it's I think it put me off for a while. I don't think I could.
The horror of it all, Eddie.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
And then like another 3 hours next to them, they looked pissed off. Like he was mad about it. I'm, you know, wanting to lock the lock.
I didn't see anything I liked.
It was bad.
You lock the door.
Bad. Yeah, lock the freaking door, man. You know. So yeah, that was one of those airplane moments. And I know we had plenty of them.
Plenty of them. Yeah, I don't know. Some of the stuff you can't really talk about.
No, some of it's a little. Some of it's pretty out there. Yeah. But we survived.
Well, we're still here to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Most of the time it was pretty normal, but that stuff happens on planes. You know.
Just on planes?
I remember Denny used to always try to sneak up to business class.
Oh, because he was a coach, yeah.
Yeah. And it was like constantly, like we would hang out in the galley, like having drinks and talking to the stewardess and stuff, because we were pretty friendly with them. Flight attendants, yeah. That's right, to call them flight attendants.
Flight attendants.
Yeah, and then that's stewardesses.
Flight crew.
Flight crew. So it was, that's the correct term. But, you know, we were pretty friendly. He kept sneaking up and, like, getting, because, you know, you don't have to pay for drinks when you're in business class, so.
Business or first.
Yeah, that was pretty funny with Denny. But, you know.
How about when I would go back and torture them?
Oh, yeah, you did that on a regular basis.
Regular basis.
Yeah.
All asleep. Dwayne sleeping like this, with his mouth open, and I'd roll up little balls of bread and throw them in, toss them into his mouth.
Yeah, it's funny. Like some things, like I said, when we think of some things, it sets off something else. You know, like.
What else, Eddie?
I can't think of anything right now. I think we've covered.
You think we covered
a lot of the major ones?
You think so? I don't know. There's probably a million things.
I gotta ask. That's is that the Mendoza cowbell?
It is the Mendoza cowbell.
Is that for sale or is it just one of a kind?
Only one of them.
It's a custom.
Yeah, it's a custom.
Did you put that little sticker on yourself?
I didn't put it on.
Okay.
She's the guilty party right there.
Okay. You know, you can sell those stickers probably.
Can you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember?
You could, like
that
a
there was-
template.
What's that?
Like a template.
A template. Do you remember when we played one of the big festivals in Europe? There was a roadie company that sold accessories.
Yeah, the guy with the guy.
Right, it looked like me.
just like
and
that.
you go, hey man, look, your logo's on that mat. Remember they had that on.
Oh,
everything?
it was that. It
Yeah,
looked just like
it
that.
was
You
that,
should have
yeah.
you could have
Should've sued them.
Sued them.
That's me.
Hey man, that's my look.
Exactly. That's my look.
Bitch stole my look.
That's right. I should have taken money from them. Probably could have.
They used to complain about that with.
What's that?
They used to complain about his look getting stolen by Christina Aguilera. Because she came out with the blonde hair.
Big blonde hair.
Somebody will get it. I don't know.
Somebody will get it.
She's not that old. I mean, you know, some people know. I'm sure a lot of people still know who she is. Yes, that's. Yeah, I heard it before. It was like.
Well, I was trying to get your attention and let you know.
Yeah.
it's
Oh
time
yeah,
to
it
show-
worked.
Start the show. here.
Yes, it worked.
All right. I guess it worked because you finally came in.
Yeah, we came in.
Yeah. You
good.
finally came in.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, it was a good thing.
It's a good thing you did that.
Well, I mean, things are calming down here. Should we get it cranked up again? Or because I could say some things. I don't know if you want to talk about them.
Crank it up.
Well, let's see. I mean, it depends on
Exactly.
where we go with this.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, there's nothing really bad. You know.
Not that you remember.
Well, maybe a few moments. But
Maybe a few moments, right? A few
Yeah.
moments. The bus ride, we were all upstairs in Europe. Remember, we
Yeah.
had the upstairs bus. The
yeah,
whole band and crew were up there.
yeah.
And the conversation that turned into a comedy skit.
Oh, the one about the boo
Yeah.
thing.
How funny was that? And that went on for many hours.
That
Went on for
yeah.
hours.
Yes, it did. It started. That was in Spain, I think.
It was in Spain. You're right.
It really
Of
got.
course, in Spain.
Once somebody found out, it was like it's a porn site that it's something that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the jokes were incredible.
Yeah, the jokes were off the. I mean, I got to a point where I couldn't. Like I turned my ears off.
I mean,
I'm
I
saying.
was laughing too hard. No filters. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well,
I'm not gonna.
it's people. I don't know.
Nah, I'm not gonna go there on
it's-
that one. Not that one.
It's nothing that we did. It was a subject that we talked about that got kind of.
Way out of control, and it went on literally. I think it was
Yeah,
about
like-
2.5 hours. It went
Yeah,
on for,
yeah.
and I remember gasping for air. We were laughing so
Yeah.
hard. Yeah, it was.
George was really doing good on that one. He really
George
he was
pretty good.
nonstop on that one.
Yeah, there was a couple of people who couldn't handle it any longer. It went on for hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a very good one, and we can't even discuss it.
No, because it's
Yeah, it's very questionable.
Yeah, it's a questionable thing.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is.
I'm
It's very
sure people. I mean, we're making fun of us some porn sites,
Yeah,
basically,
let's,
but
like,
yeah, it
leave
was-
that
yeah.
one alone. I'm
Yeah,
sorry I
that
brought
was
it
a
up.
little
Sorry, I brought that one.
Yeah, that's. I like the fight with Cooch and AJ. Remember
Oh, that was
one?
great. That was,
you were on the phone. I remember.
Oh,
you were
man, let
pissed
me-
off. If they
so
you wanted to get
I'm
off the phone.
sitting. We're on it. I can't remember where we were either. Do you remember where we were?
It's hard to remember. Like it was.
We're on a
Cooch,
tour-
I
we're
think
on
it
a
was
smaller-
Switzerland because
Switzerland.
Cooch was with
Yeah,
us.
Switzerland.
With the chain pants. I don't know. Why would you wear pants like that around us? I mean, we used to tear people apart wearing nice shit. You know, like if you wore something a little strange
Cooch had a
in this
smart
band,
car for
oh
shoes,
man,
right?
Huh?
It was a smart car in each foot for shoes. Remember that?
The shoes.
Cooch, there goes one of your shoes.
And he had a pair of pants with a chain.
Right.
Man, did he get shit for that? It's like, why would you wear that in front of like us? You know?
Yeah, it was funny. But the bus, there was we were on a tour bus in Switzerland.
Yeah.
And I remember we had a couple hour ride. We were crossing
There was always a couple hours ride.
It wasn't a very long one. It was only like a couple hours, 2.5, maybe 3 hours. And I remember we had just gotten on the bus, and I called home, and I'm in the back of the bus where I'm hoping it's a little quieter so I could talk to home. and and something starts brewing up to Cooch and AJ
started the wrestling match.
They started a wrestling match, right? And
it's pretty amazing. They were rolling over
the tops of seats.
The tops of seats.
Now a lot of people didn't know AJ.
Two big guys.
AJ, big guy. So was Cooch, but AJ was a great fighter. I mean, he
the wrestling. Yeah, he was a little, but he was
stocky and powerful, but he knew how to fight.
Yeah.
So sparring him was interesting when I used to spar with him. Everybody would get out of the way.
Well, he was karate, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He was up there in karate.
So, but it turned into a wrestling match, right? I remember that. It turned into a wrestling match.
Funniest one ever.
For some reason, it kind of went to your seat.
Yeah, and I said, "Get the f off me!"
Right,
you know,
right.
like.
You couldn't move anybody, right?
And then Dee was sitting there quietly.
Yeah, but before that, you were mashed against the window. You're like,
yeah, they're like smashing
their
me.
faces against the window, and they're like fighting.
Yeah, they didn't care.
And so Dee goes over and
puts
picks up
the garbage
this
can,
little plastic garbage pail, and tries to put it on Cooch's head.
He does put it on his head.
He puts it on Cooch's head, and as they're going over the seat, Cooch puts his arm around Dee's waist
scoops him right
and
up.
takes him right with AJ.
The three
and
of
I'm
them
on the phone going, let me call you back in a few, because I wanted to get in the middle of this, right? You remember that? So I go, no, please, just let me call you. I got to dog pile this. I got to dog pile, and the guys ended up in aisle, and I'm going, no, listen, let me call you back.
You couldn't get off.
You can't call me back. I want to talk now. No, let me call you back. I want to dog pile this, And by the time I got off the phone,
it was over.
It was over, but it lasted a good while.
About 15, 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
When they scooped Dee up, it was pretty funny because he just had this smile on his face.
Yeah, he couldn't stop. It was like,
and he was in the middle of it.
Dee's in great shape, but he doesn't weigh much.
But no, he looks.
Yeah, he just got scooped up
like
with his weight.
He looked very little at the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Compared to the two of them.
Yeah. It was very funny watching it.
What do they call those guys that wear those hats with the little swirly thing?
Fez?
Huh?
Is that wearing the Fez?
No. It's kind of like the Raccoon Lodge kind of guys.
Lodge, yeah.
They wear those. I forgot what there's a group of people. They look like buckets with the tassel thing.
Tassel on the top.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody will.
That's what Cooch looked like.
Yeah, somebody should write in and say. So anyway, the thing stayed on his head for a while. I don't know what possessed Dee to put that on his head.
Oh, he just wanted to bother Cooch.
But they were in the middle of that's when Cooch scooped him up,
Oh, it was watching it was hilarious, but I wanted to get in the middle of it.
Yeah.
You know me, I wanted to be right there because I wanted to. I mean,
I'm glad it went past. It was like a tornado passing by, And Dee was pretty good about it. Like he was.
Yeah, but he was expecting that if he got in the middle of it.
Well, with the hat, once he put in
once he did that, Cooch had one free arm and he put it around Dee's waist and then took him on with the wave. Yeah, Dee just got taken by the wave.
And he had the shaved head.
What's that?
Moroccans?
No, well, there's a name of those groups of guys. It's kind of like a club.
Up near your house?
No, just not near my house. It's a big thing. It's kind of like the Raccoon Lodge thing, where they wore the things on the, Jackie Gleason wore that.
Right, there was a raccoon.
But it's kind of the hats. There's a name of. I don't know. I can't think of it.
Should we let it go?
I'll remember it when I leave.
You're right, when you're driving home. I don't remember what it was.
I'll text it. I know I'll remember what it is. But it's that was a good one. That was a good one.
That was a great fight.
Yeah,
man.
It just happened a lot.
Yeah, all those things happened a lot. Sweet TS was like a bunch of 15-year-olds at sleepaway camp.
Oh, what about the time?
What?
JJ used his bag, and he had
to hold open the door.
He had to pay for the whole weekend.
He had some of it, yeah.
Yeah, he was carrying it for
right.
Because usually Danny was and he had some of it there, and it was a substantial amount. He used it to hold the door open, and everybody leaves, and the bag stayed there holding the door open, and we left.
We drove away.
And the guy, we actually got it back.
He was a good fan of the bands.
Yeah, and that was luck. That was luck, but that was after that. I don't think he was allowed to.
He wasn't allowed to handle money anymore.
No,
he wasn't allowed to.
That was it.
Absolutely.
But that was another one. That just popped in my head when I thought about it.
You sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. It did happen.
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah, those are you don't forget those. Those are ones you remember. The last, 10 years, it's been pretty, pretty normal, regular most of the time.
I don't know. There was a lot of comedy.
There was a lot of funny stuff.
There's a lot of comedy. Dwayne.
Oh yeah, but that was kind of mean. You guys were.
Well, you thought that was mean?
Yeah, well, I think you guys were a little obsessive.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Twisted guys and Twisted Sister obsessive. I mean, you didn't do it too.
I backed down. I was like, I got to a point. I said, okay, that's guys had enough, And I remember Samantha saying that you guys are so mean, picking on Dwayne. And after like a couple of days, she joins in.
Like, no, he deserves it. Yeah,
because he's such a nice guy, And
I had Russell on the show a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
On the show. We were talking about some of the stuff, some of the funny stuff, and the fact that Dwayne set up the stage backwards. Not only facing the wrong way one time, but mirror backwards.
Yeah, mirror backwards.
Put me on your side of the stage, and
that was in Italy, wasn't it?
No, it was in Finland.
In Milan?
No, it was in Finland.
It was a couple of times.
Yeah, he did it a couple of times.
A complete, yeah.
Get backwards, and then you remember.
But the whole stage, that's a lot of work.
How about when we played the place in Pennsylvania, not Nearfield.
Where the police guys came?
Clearfield, was it? Pennsylvania. Remember the town fair? It was like 40,000 people.
Oh, that.
And he set up the stage facing the parking lot instead of the grandstands. So with Dwayne, the lights and the PA are facing that way.
Oh.
I go, well, they're wrong. I said, no, what's there? He goes, parking lot.
Wasn't there a storm that knocked everything down?
Well, that was in Spain.
That was we couldn't play.
Yeah, there was once in France and once in Spain for that.
Yeah, that was.
Remember Ted Nugent was on.
Ted Nugent said, right. I blew the place apart.
Right.
He
Ted
took credit
did
for
his
it.
rain dance.
Yeah.
Right, when he went off, it came through and wiped the place out.
It destroyed all of Deep Purple stuff.
Everything got destroyed.
The I think John Lord was still in the band at the time.
Yeah,
he was still alive.
The PA came down, the stage blew over.
Steve Morris was
the
playing
towers
guitar.
got knocked over. They were lucky no one died there.
And there was guys complaining to me, like, you guys shouldn't leave. I said, the stage is gone.
It's gone. Yeah.
People are very wet.
I remember we were in
Some very wet, drowning people.
We were in that huge building that had that curved roof, steel roof. Remember, panels got ripped off of the roof. It wasn't a tornado, but it was a tremendously severe thunderstorm. And remember, some of the panels ripped off. The place was so big, we had all the buses and trucks in the building. Remember that?
Right, it was in the building, yeah.
But the steel panels ripped off, and there was rain coming in.
Oh, it was a horrendous storm.
Yeah, it was a horrible storm.
That wasn't
destroyed,
the only.
Though. That was in Zaragoza.
That was Zaragoza?
Zaragoza, Spain, in the desert. Yep.
Where we drove, it was kind of far from. We stayed in Zaragoza, but it was.
Yeah, but we were still far from the venue.
It was far.
There was an outdoor show. They have shows there. It's a built-in stage. The concrete part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember it was wiped out. I mean, it was wiped out.
And luckily, Jimmy Jimmy was still working with us.
Yeah.
And he got the guitars off stage.
Yeah, the only thing we got off the stage was the guitars.
And I think some of the electronics. Our stuff, they took it off just in time.
Yeah.
But Deep Purple stuff was still.
It wasn't our amps. It was the rental company, and they lost all the amps.
I think Deep Purple was headlining that day, right?
They were right after us. We never made it, neither did they.
No, their stuff got because they had the main.
Yeah.
So, and I think we were still because those setups had to be so fast.
Yeah.
That their stuff got really bad, man.
That was a horrible night. I mean, it was actually scary.
It was.
The building was being
even
away,
like
we're inside.
I mean, I felt bad we couldn't do the show, but
yeah, what are you going to do? There's no
that's
play.
nature, man.
And then the other time, I believe, was in Milou in France. Remember that during the night before, the storm came through and just wiped everything out. Couldn't play.
Well, I think we didn't even get to go there.
But I went there to see it.
Oh, you went to see it?
Yeah, I took pictures of it. I have pictures of it, and I took pictures of it, and it was nothing but a mud field. Everything. I mean, how those old towers, aluminum towers they build to hold everything up. They were just like twisted wreck, like a tornado came through there. It was in France too. You don't expect that kind of weather in that part of Europe, but once in a while they get it.
No, they get it, and
Yeah,
that's the thing about those outdoor shows.
France, yeah.
Remember the one where we actually played in the rain for like as long as we could, like 45
Couple of
minutes.
times we've done
like
that.
pouring rain, the whole roof came off.
Yes.
And remember, my amp blew out 5. Like I went through 5 amps that day, 5 heads.
Really? Oh, that's right.
4 or 5 heads because my heads kept blowing out.
getting wet.
And we were playing the price, and my amp went out, and the solo was coming up, and JJ
Right.
gave me his guitar so I could do the solo. And then they replaced the amps, and we switched guitars back.
Oh, I remember that. I do
Yeah,
remember.
you guys were really impressed. That's something we just kind of did naturally. We didn't even I just looked at him. The solo was coming, and I had no guitar, no sound at all. He goes, he takes off the guitar, gives it to me, right, just perfect timing.
Do you remember the time we played one of those outdoor sheds in Maryland or something, and JJ broke a chord, and they gave him a 3-foot chord. Come on, you remember that?
Oh, that was with Dio.
It was what?
That was with we're opening for Dio.
That was it. Opening for Dio.
And he had to
Something
stay on the
happened, and he
platform.
Hit somebody in the head with his guitar.
No, Fatty.
Fatty.
Kevin
Kevin.
Kevin was working.
Kevin Keneally.
We used to call him Fatty because he was like really skinny. But he ended up actually gaining weight. He didn't like being called Fatty anymore. But it took, at the time, we were still calling him Fatty. And what happened was, and this all happened at the same time. Like, I dropped something. He went to pick it up. I bent over, and so my guitar, my headstock hit his head with the strings, and I had some pointy string parts, and it cut his. There was a big cut on his head.
I remember that. I thought it was JJ's guitar.
No, it was my guitar.
Then why'd they give him the short chord?
Because Frank thought he did. Frank thought he hit Fatty.
He had a broken cord, right? This is in the day really before wirelesses. And we all had 30-foot cords, and JJ stops working, so Frank goes out there and gives him literally a 4-foot cord.
Yeah, he had to
stand right in front of the Marshal to finish the song.
No, he had to stand on the platform.
Right in front of the Marshals. Yeah.
And I don't think he got a chord for like 4 songs. I think it was almost the rest of this.
No, it was pretty quick that he was quick.
It sucks, but it was.
It was very funny.
He was really pissed off because he thought JJ hit him with his guitar. And
it was you.
It was me, but it was an accident. I mean, I went to get something, and Fatty went at the same time.
And
Kevin went to pick it up, and the guitar came. It was on my shoulder, and it hit him right in the head. It was just weird timing. Like he went to pull a wire,
right,
like some mic wire or something, and then he's bleeding. And head wounds bleed like.
You should know.
So Frank. Yeah, I've had a few. So, I know well about that, but. Whatchamacallit, I don't know why I think he did it on purpose, right? Or was that the only cable he could find?
No, he did it on purpose.
He did it on purpose.
Gave him a 3-foot, actually it was like a 4-foot.
It was like for tuning, something you would use like a 3-foot cable.
Yeah. And he's standing there and he actually had to pick the guitar up because it wasn't long enough to let it rest, down all the way.
Yeah, and it was like that for a couple of songs, and Frank was really mad at him. So
Frank was really mad at him.
Yeah, that was the Frankie days.
And the Frankie days.
Yeah,
how about bunking Frank?
Oh, that was. That was a lot of. That was very.
Very well.
Wouldn't do that these days.
No, absolutely.
That's what happens with boredom. It's like you're on a bus for like.
It's like a bunch of 15-year-olds at sleepaway camp.
Yeah, but like for everybody to jump in his bunk and crowd, that was the dog pile thing. That was the dog pile. Yeah, the dog pile on the rabbit.
The dog pile thing. Dog pile on the rabbit.
Yeah, it was good. That was good.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So,
to remember all this stuff.
Missed the live shows?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, the last 14 years were great. I mean, we were headlining all these huge festivals. Bigger. Back in the day, we weren't the headliners.
Well, almost never.
So we became bigger than we were then. The last 14 years was amazing. Being the headliners, staying in the nice hotels. I mean, finally it happened. So it's been, you know, it was great, especially some of these festivals. You know, I think the smallest one was 30,000 people.
Oh yeah, the largest one was like 118,000.
Yeah, and Grass Pop was
Grass Pop.
Grass Pop, yeah, massive, and it was
Massive.
Sweden Rocks. You know, what's the one with Hoss?
It's, Bang Your Head.
Bang Your Head, yeah, with the big hands, yeah. So those shows are like, it's funny because I really felt comfortable doing those shows. You know,
tremendous stages. Yeah, we got used to it.
It's just like, I actually get more nervous playing in a small place or a club. Yeah, because people are like, hello. You know.
How does that go?
Hello. And like somebody's breathing on you, doing this whole. You're getting like steam stains on the guitar, you know. So I get
steam stains.
Yeah, it's like. I said, can you like move back a little bit, you know? And back in the day, it was kind of cool when we put the guitar in somebody's face, but you know, we got used to the big stages. So
right.
Now I find myself more like actually getting a little, not nervous, but a little more uncomfortable in doing something small.
Do you?
Yeah, because it's, I mean, I like, you know, the big stages, I can still see people and notice them and, you know, the audience
But they're
reactions.
a little further away. They won't put steam stains.
Yeah, sometimes they were like really fun. Sometimes it was like silly trying to throw a pick out.
Because it didn't go.
Because I needed a slingshot, you know, because...
There's so much room between you and the beginning of the audience.
It was like I'm hitting the security guy. It was like stuck to his head, you know, like, oh, thanks for the temper. And the person was like, give me the pee, give me the pee. You know, but I hit more security guys with picks. And sometimes it was like, there was a rock tied to it. It was just going, and because the pits were big,
Right,
those for the camera guys and all that.
Yeah, I know.
I felt bad for
trying to fling a pick out there was just. I mean, you couldn't fling it.
No, it was
30,
very
40
hard.
feet, man.
I tried, man.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I just throw a whole bag out.
Take the bag and throw it.
Just split it amongst yourselves. You know.
Split it amongst yourselves. Spread it around.
It was just spread it around.
Spread it around.
Spread the love.
Spread it around. But yeah, I loved. I miss it. I do. It was in my blood.
Yeah,
and I love doing it, and I
get
love
spoiled.
doing it to the day
Yeah.
that I can't do it anymore. But I love doing it. I play all the time. You know that.
Yeah.
I play all the time.
Yeah,
Which gets me to another question, which people would kind of ask. You had your own CD out a few years ago.
Right.
Access to
That
Access.
I forgot to bring with me, but
Right. Well, anyway, they can find it on your site, right?
yeah, my EddieOjeda.com.
EddieOjeda.com.
Yeah.
Access to Access. What was the story behind the CD?
Well, basically, it was. I think I did it in 2005.
2005, I think.
Yeah, yeah, 2005, 2006. Well, I just kind of, you know, started coming up with songs, and I wanted to do it, you know, and I did most of it at home. You know, Joe Franco played drums, and so he did all the drum parts in his studio, Beat Street in Manhattan, and we did some of the vocals, like Joe Lynn Turner did his vocal there, Dee did his vocal, and you know, I sort of got the idea, like when I saw Santana do, like, remember he did this thing with all these musicians, different guys, and I said, oh, that's kind of cool, you know, and people that I liked, that I wanted to collaborate with, that I was friends with, you know, Rudy Sarzo played bass.
Great bass player.
You know, I know you were supposed to play bass, but
I was
somehow,
away when you wanted me to record. I wasn't in town.
So,
otherwise,
you know,
I would have done it.
Yeah, I know, but because I asked you to play one or two songs.
Yeah.
But it was just, you know, it was good. And of course, Ronnie James Dio, you know.
Yeah, he sang also.
He sang the first song tonight, the first song on the CD. And when I wrote that song, it was like, you know, I just thought of the beat. I heard like Man in the Box, that kind of groove, boom, boom. So that, like, I said, I really like that groove, and I just I came up with this riff, and I said, well, this sounds kind of like a Dio song, you know, like the way his songs are written. So we were playing in Puerto Rico that time,
right?
And you know, Dio was Dio was opening for us. That we were opening for him.
No, he was opening for us at that point.
Yeah, which that was like a reverse, you know, because we did a whole tour with him.
What an honor, James.
Oh man, I mean, he was so
what did you do? Did you just pick up the phone and go?
No,
Ronnie.
No, I asked him.
Would you play on my CD? Please.
You know, well, I just asked him in Puerto Rico. I said, listen, I wrote a song. It's very much like, you know, thinking about you. I said, I really would love if you could do it. And he says, okay, send it to me, I'll do it. Without hearing the song. Like, you know, how do you know it doesn't suck? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you're Ronnie James Dio. Why, you know, you have one of the greatest voices in rock. Why would you, you know, I thought he was going to say, well, let me hear it, and if I like it, I'll, you know, if I think it fits me, I'll do it. He just said, I'll do it, you know. So, and luckily, I was in luck because at that time, he had just put in a new studio in his house, so it was great timing. So he wanted to.
So he did the vocal.
Your face hurts.
No. Steve, my engineer, has got his mouth open. I think he's catching flies.
Oh, okay. So anyway,
he's practicing his vocal.
It was just great that he said yes without even hearing it, and I said, "What? That's pretty cool of him, you know." And I guess he just trusted me for it. So I sent him, you know, a rough mix for him to sing on, and you know, I think Craig Rowley, his guitar player, engineered it, and you know, he doubled the vocals, and he sent me an email that says, "I'm going to double the vocals, I'm going to do all the harmonies, I'm going to change some of the few lyrics, and you're going to like it." Like he just put like tonight, like a couple of different words. Like he put magic somewhere. He loves using the word magic, you know. So he put that in. There's magic in the air. I had something else written for something in the air. So so I get it back, you know, and I get and I listen to the rough, you know, the vocals just by themselves. I'm going, wow, this is unbelievable, you know, like, because I sent him a version with me singing it, and you know, I didn't spend a lot of time singing it because, but just enough so he could get the melody.
Right, of course.
So, but you know, him adding his little thing to it, and and boy, when I came back and we played it in the studio on Beat Street, like everybody's going like Joe Franco, and it's like it was, you know, it was an amazing thing. Who knew that, you know, a few years later we would lose him, but you know, what an honor to have him. You know, to have him sing one of your songs, a song I wrote. You know,
Ronnie James Dio.
You know, and it was really sad to lose him.
It really was.
You know, but you know, that's kind of it's a great thing. It's a great memory that I actually got a chance to do. It meant a lot more to me after losing him. I was like, wow.
Quick story about Ronnie. We had played in Greece.
Right.
And it was, I believe he was on that show, and it was his 70th birthday. And he and I had dinner together. Remember the rooftop?
Oh, the grief, yeah, that was great.
Here we are, sitting here at a table with Ronnie James Dio, having dinner, and looking at the Parthenon.
It looked amazing.
I mean, you look over there, and it's all lit up, and it's up high on
the hotel. From the hotel, you can see it.
Up, but so is the Parthenon. And you're saying, and I'm saying to Ronnie, and we're both looking at it. I go, you know, stuff happened there, man.
Yeah,
that's an incredible. I mean, we're sitting here looking at that, you know, right in Athens, and what a great night with Ronnie.
That was a great night. The whole band, we were all up there.
But I remember I had dinner with him myself.
Right. Then everybody was hanging out. It was a beautiful night. It was the
great
rooftop.
Temperature, great, and the hotel had a rooftop bar and pool
and
restaurant, and it was just a great night. I remember it was one of the real special moments in rock history for me, having dinner with James Dio on his birthday.
And the fact that we were all hanging out, you know, because that doesn't happen often, you know, where like you're in this environment, this awesome city, and
it was great. It really was.
And you know, you're like all hanging out. It's a beautiful night. You know, we're all having beers and having a good time. Everybody was. That was a great night. I mean,
there was a lot of them, but that one was a special.
That one was
amazing. It was
that one was like
very memorable that night.
I'll never forget that night.
We had stayed at that place, I think, 2 or 3 times over the
years. 2 or 3 times. It was in Athens, right?
Athens, Greece.
Athens. Yeah, it was good.
Do you remember it?
Yeah, of course I remember
Okay,
it.
good. Just checking in on you.
Why would I forget that?
I don't know.
Especially the fun part, you know.
Especially, you remember the fun part, right?
The after party, yeah.
The after party?
A lot of times that that doesn't happen. People usually end up going back to your room, and
Oh yeah.
especially now with the internet. You could FaceTime, whatever you could do, go on Skype, call home, talk to your family. It was a lot easier with internet.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how that's why people got in trouble in the 80s, because you're in your room.
80s,
So people say, let me throw the TV set out the window.
Think about the 70s where you couldn't even call home.
Yeah.
You couldn't even get long distance in these hotels in the 70s.
Oh, right. You couldn't, if you were in Europe.
I wouldn't call home for weeks at a time.
Yeah, it would like be $80 a minute,
And you couldn't even get international calls in these places.
No, and even when you called from California, it was really expensive. Anything, it was all long distance. I mean, now it doesn't matter, but that was we've seen a lot.
Yeah, it was.
And that's made a lot of things a lot like people that tour, and they don't realize that it's so much easier now with all this communication. It's good and bad. There's a lot of good things about it, but
just think about when you get to a hotel room. Not only do you have the internet, or maybe you brought your laptop with you with like 1,000 shows and movies on it,
right?
But you could also have, like I said, the internet or the hotel or the local channels. But let me tell you something. I remember touring in the 70s on a ZZ Top tour. Mm-hmm. And one of the shows we did was someplace, it wasn't even Des Moines, Iowa. It was another small city. And there was 2 television channels. And they were both about farming. Okay, and they would both go off the air at 10 o'clock at night. So at 10 o'clock it'd be dun 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 dun, and that was it, right?
Yeah.
And it would come on in the morning if you left the TV on and the volume down or something.
Yeah.
It would come back on in the morning, and they'd good morning everybody, and they'd do whatever they were doing, and then would go to a regular TV show. And I'll never forget this thing. I remember the announcer going, and remember, get liquid liquid Atrex 4L. Liquid Atrex 4L is the best hog feed you can find. And then the chorus would go, Liquid Atrex 4L, ba 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 ba. It's like, this is what you're watching. I mean, so everybody's spoiled these days because I was watching commercials about farming. And hog feed and fertilizer.
And you actually watch it because there's nothing else.
There's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
There's 8 feet of snow outside. You're not going out.
Yeah.
There's no one around. It's a day off.
The bars are closed.
I tortured all the guys in the Dictator, everybody in the band and the crew, and they're all hiding from me. So I'm stuck in my room. Right? There's nothing to do. I mean, I would have driven a snowplow to get out of my room. DOT, Department of Transportation, you want to hire me for the day? I'll drive a snowplow. But it was like Liquid Atrex 4L. I remember that commercial. There was and it soared 100 times that day. 100 times. I couldn't stand it any longer.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, now it's
now you watch. I mean, how about how we traveled with Mike Portnoy, right? Love Mike. We saw the winery dogs out on that.
Oh,
Amazing was that?
God, yeah,
that's a whole nother discussion we'll have. But Mike Portnoy comes out on the road. The guy never comes out of his room. Like, I kicked the door in practically and drag him. No, man. And he comes out with, of course, his laptop.
Right.
USB, an HDMI cable to hook up to the big screen TV in the room, and he's got like 60 hard drives with him.
Yeah.
Everything that could have possibly recorded on TV for the last 40 years.
Yeah.
I mean, just hundreds and thousands of shows, and that's what he does all day long in his room.
Yeah, he would just stay in the room.
He would just stay in his room, watch his TV. You're going to come out.
Or he would record stuff too, like for
he would
somebody
stuff.
was working with.
Yeah, sure. He'd work on recording or mixing stuff in his room, but he watched TV all the time. Me, TV's on 20 minutes. I'm asleep, man. That's it. I'm done.
I went through the mistake of going through security with him in Germany.
What did they get him for?
And they start taking out hard drives. Now they think he's a mad bomber. You know what I mean?
Man.
It's because he's got all this electronic stuff.
Right.
And I get and he was in front of me, so I had to wait. till they got, and then they go through all my stuff, and the guy goes, "Oh, nice sneakers," you know. I'm like, okay, can you put them back? And then, so like, I'm saying, wow, that's a lot of hard drives. It was like 10 hard drives.
Yeah, between
so
music.
they have to all unzipper each one, look at it, and put a pad on. We almost missed the plane.
Yeah,
Because by the time we were done, we had got there just in time, and we almost missed the plane. So, especially, I mean, that was one of the most serious, you know. It wasn't like they strip searched us or anything, but it really just took a long time.
Yeah, it did. When Mike would order electronics.
Going through all those electronics.
Mike's a great guy. Talking about Mike Portnoy, Eddie and I both went, with some other people, went to Sony Hall in New York City this past Friday night to see the Winery Dogs.
And we saw this guy's back.
And well, the big guy in front of you, right?
Yeah,
that guy was big.
Somebody invited the Hulk.
I mean, I stood up and looked past him, but
and it was like Gigantor, you know.
it was like looking at
Gigantor. Remember, Gigantor, the space age robot. Yeah. Gigantor. But I mean, his back was like this big,
right?
You know,
he was a big guy,
and then he was tall, and he's standing on a thing, and like his whole back.
Right.
And
well, they should have just projected the show on his back.
Yeah, that's what they should. I took a picture of it. You know.
I know. I saw the picture.
I showed it to Mike.
He took up the whole frame.
This was my view. This was our view from the table.
Right.
You know.
I stood up.
So
but,
yeah. People were throwing lemons. I heard.
Yeah, they were throwing lemons.
Because they were mad.
They were mad that she was standing on a chair, and you know maybe she's
but she's little. I didn't think that would bother anybody.
When you put her on a 2-foot chair, it's 7 foot tall.
Well, you had to because that guy was
she
gigantic.
had to see over Gigantor.
Yeah, I mean, luckily there was just 2 screens, and I could see a little bit in between 2 people once in a while, you know. But you know, it sounded great.
They were amazing.
They were great. Yeah,
amazing.
Real tight
That was
band.
one of the best shows I'd seen in a long time. Winery Dogs.
Those guys can play, boy.
Ooh, oh man.
Yeah.
Top, the best of the best.
Yeah.
The best. Richie Kotzen, Mike Portnoy, and Billy Sheehan. The best of the best. That was a lot of fun, that show. Meeting the guys or talking to them. I've met them before. But
the sound was great, too. They did a great sound.
They have a new sound man, new sound engineer, and he did an amazing job. He really did.
That place had a great sound system.
Yeah, it was very good. Very, very, very good.
For, you know, considering it was underground, you know. And
it was definitely down. I mean, it was down a flight.
The sound was amazing.
It was a great site, and it was packed. The place was packed.
Totally packed out.
So it was good. What a great band, a great show, and a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it's still on tour.
What's in the future for Eddie Ojeda?
Well, you know, I'm moving to Nashville.
Yes, we heard.
Going down south. And I'm looking forward to it. I just became a granddad.
Right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And congratulations for Eddie Ojeda and the Ojeda clan.
Yeah, it's
Eddie and Clara are now grandparents.
Yes, his name is Levi Alexander.
Levi Alexander
Ojeda.
Ojeda.
If you want to say it in Spanish, Ojeda.
Right, it's Ojeda.
Yeah. Because I get, that's another thing. People say, hey, you're pronouncing your name wrong. I go, look, Ojeda just made it easy, you know, because I don't like Ojeda. I don't like, so, hey, Ojeda. You know, like, because in English, it sounds like you don't say Jose. People can say Jose.
Right.
But in Spanish, you would say Jose. You wouldn't say Jose.
Right.
Jose. So anyway, it's just, so Ojeda was easy. It was in high school, people started calling me Ojeda, and with the OJ. And it still happens. Like some people, I always knew when they were calling me because they'd say my first name and then they go, oh, I see the guy get stuck on, and so Ojeda just made it easy.
So you guys have a new addition to the family?
Yes.
Your grandson?
My son.
You guys are proud grandparents. Good for you.
Yeah.
Moving to Nashville. Yeah. What do we got in the way of music? Is there something happening?
Once I settle in, there's, you know, like there's a lot of people that have moved to Nashville, especially rock musicians.
Yes.
I mean, a lot.
A lot.
You know, the list is endless. Of every time I go down, I find out somebody else is living there. You know, and so, and you know, it's just an easy place to get around. There's no tolls. like over here, you have to.
The problem is that you got a lot of New Yorkers going there, and they're going to ruin it.
I don't think so.
Definitely going to ruin it.
Well, there's a lot of LA people going. There's people
And that's
from all
even
over.
worse.
Yeah. Well, it depends. The cool people from New York. I mean, it's just an easier way of life down there, and the music scene is.
I have a lot of friends there.
I mean, the music scene there is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh, it's the best.
How many places do you get off a plane and see a Les Paul? The first thing you do, everything guitar, there's guitars everywhere. Every bar or restaurant you go to, there's some kind of tribute to the guitars. It's almost like
It's too many guitar
I should have
players.
always been here. Yeah. Well, it's not that for some reason they call it, but they call it Music City for a reason. And it's starting to become one of the major places.
It already is, yeah.
Yeah, I think Warner has a place down there as main office.
Really?
Yeah, some of the big music companies are down there as well. Like ASCAP, BMI.
Right.
Like they used to just be based out of New York and Los Angeles.
So what do you think you're going to start a project when you should get settled in?
Once I get settled in, see what's happening. See what comes across the.
You need a bass player?
Sure. If we need a bass player, I'll let you know.
I'll find one for you.
Okay.
No, any day, man. Anytime,
Sure,
anywhere.
sure.
I'll share the stage of battle with you any day.
Hey, it'd be great.
Without a doubt. No twos about it.
I just think it's even just a few times I've been down there, the people I've bumped into.
Yeah.
Everybody's into doing stuff together. It's a lot harder to do that here for some reason. I don't know why.
Tougher to do everything here.
Yeah, and also New York is getting pretty pricey, man.
Oh yeah, it's quite pricey.
Manhattan is
Out of reach.
out of reach. I mean,
Yes.
even like somebody who's like a janitor is going to have to make 6 figures to live in Manhattan.
Exactly.
So I don't know where it's going with that, but we'll see.
Price this out of the realm, man.
Yeah, it's
Out of the ballpark.
yeah, and it's just I mean, there's a lot of traffic and it's busy in Nashville too, but not like here,
Right.
like the Long Island Parkway.
Oh, yeah. I mean, these
Long Island parking lot.
Exactly, Long Island parking lots. That's good. What our roadways here on Long Island, 24/7 now, virtually.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, you think it's.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
bad.
you know that, especially in New York State, and I'm sure the states surrounding us, that we no longer have a change of seasons. Right? We don't have spring, summer, fall, winter, or anything like that. We have winter and road construction. That's the other seasons. Winter and road construction.
Well, now the roads are all messed up again.
Yeah.
You go over I was coming here. There was some parts of the road that felt like I was on the moon.
Oh yeah.
It was like, if you have like
does
if you have a shitty car, it's
if
going
you
to
have-
really
if
be
you have a good
bad.
car, it turns into a
yeah,
shitty car.
it turns your car
From these roads.
pretty
Yeah,
shitty
the roads are
and
pitiful.
pretty
They really
quickly.
are. The amount, it's amazing the amount we pay in taxes and road.
Yeah, it's like they forget about like a mile for
Yeah,
some
they use
reason.
they use the road tax stuff for everything else instead of
We're
fixing.
going to
the
leave
roads.
this mile here.
Yeah,
just-
we'll leave this mile here in pieces.
So the tire companies make money.
Right. So everybody repairing cars and putting shocks and suspension parts in cars and tires make money.
Right.
Yeah, they love that because you're
Of course.
busting rims and tires all the time.
Actually, I went through a part of Knoxville, coming from Nashville. I went through Knoxville, and it had rained a lot in February. I was there for like a month. And there was it was like a good part of the road that was, from the weather, it was destroyed. And I must have passed 10 cars changing tires.
Really?
I was able to like miss them, because I'm used to living here. So
That's pretty good.
I was able to miss a lot of them. I was proud of myself.
Yeah, I'm proud of you too.
Thanks.
Because usually in the old days we would just hit them.
Well, especially if it was a rent-a-car.
Especially if it was a rent.
You were good with rent-a-cars.
Oh, you like me with rent-a-cars,
Oh, yeah,
right?
you were very like.
Yeah. Joe told a story when we were in a club, still playing clubs, and we played Poughkeepsie, and when we got out, it was snowing. By the time we had to play
Civic
again
Center
that day.
or the
No, we were playing the Good Times or the Chance or something.
Chance, okay.
Yeah, this is back in still in like 1979 or 80.
Right.
And I had forgotten until he told the story of the fact that one morning he woke up, his phone in his room was ringing, and the guy at the counter, the front desk, said, "Excuse me, Mr. Gerber, there's someone pushing your car around the parking lot." You remember this story?
No.
Yeah.
I think I do, but it's
So I forgot about it until he told the story here. And he goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, there's another gentleman staying in a hotel with his car, pushed your car out of the parking spot, and he's pushing it sideways around the parking lot on the ice." I'm just going in circles with it. And he goes, I forgot what cars we had. They were rent-a-cars. And he goes, "Is my car like a tan Taurus?" And he goes, yeah. It's being pushed by like a red Taurus. The guy goes, "Yeah, that's it." He goes, "Yeah, just leave him alone. He'll get tired and leave it. He'll stop doing it after a while." So I look at the front of the hotel, and everybody in the restaurant is at the window looking. They were all looking at me. I pushed Joe's car out of the spot, front to front.
Right.
Popped here, went backwards, came around, and got him in the passenger doors and started pushing it around the parking lot sideways. And I went around, I don't know, 5 or 6 times, and I noticed everybody watching me, and then I stopped and I came around and pushed it back.
Now, nobody should do this.
No, don't do this at home. So this is
don't
dangerous.
recommend doing this.
Yeah, with rent-a-car.
Actually, somehow there was no damage done.
No, it was nothing.
I'm not lying. I'm serious.
Well,
for some reason, the bumper, you knew where to
I
do
knew
it.
exactly how to do
Yeah.
this. Most people don't know I'm a motorhead, So.
Yeah, so you were, and I remember every time we stopped at a freaking toll, you'd always tap us.
Right.
And the one time he didn't do it, because then we looked back. Because everybody would just go like, put
Like
their head,
the car
like
would
reading
stop,
a book.
And then your head would go the second time.
Yeah, we just put their head back.
Yeah. Matter of
And
fact,
just completely ignore it. Like,
and it was just a way of life.
Yeah.
And then one time I decided not to do it.
Right. And then that's when we all looked back.
Yeah, I had to look back and see if I was still there. Oh, yeah. I did that in The Dictators, too.
I know you did it.
Constantly hit them.
It was every single time. And the guy would take, and that's when, there was real toll collectors in those days.
Right.
And, it was...
They would look.
They would look at the guy just hit you. I said, "Yeah, we know."
yeah, we know.
He's with us.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I think we would pay the toll.
Yeah, you would pay the toll.
So I'm sure the guy was
Joe
totally.
Gerber was in the car with you.
Yeah.
Right. So tour manager, he would pay the tolls. I'm paying for them too.
Yeah, so I think the guy would be baffled. This guy's just hit you.
He just hit you. Yeah.
But it was just a little tap. It was never anything.
Love tap, right?
It was never.
Yeah, those are some of the crazy stuff on the road.
Yeah.
Eddie,
yeah.
I know it's a pain in the ass to get here.
Yeah.
It's a long ride, and hopefully at this time of night it won't be so bad going home.
Yeah, it'll be.
But I can't thank you enough for coming on the show. We're talking about your hot sauce, and we're talking about your coffee, and they are great products. And I'm telling everybody now, go out and purchase it, because if you don't, I'll come to your house and knock on the door.
We have questions.
What's a question?
People want to know, will they be available in stores soon?
For now, not yet. Hopefully,
The question
the hot
was,
sauces.
will these products be available in stores? I don't know if your voice was picked up on the microphone. That's what Eddie is answering.
But the hot sauces are in some of the mom and pop stores. Not in big chains yet. But the coffee's strictly online, and then you can get the hot sauce online too.
Canada?
Huh? They'll ship anywhere, but Canada, it's like free shipping if over $20 somebody spends over, but that's U.S. only, But Canada or anything international, unfortunately, it's pretty pricey to ship to Europe. So
right now, anyway.
Yeah, right now. I mean, it would be nice to get a distributor over there.
A lot of people order online.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I love stores. I love walking in and be able to see what I want. But right now, it's available online only. All right. So get off your excuse and stop making excuses and order some of the Eddie Ojeda products, okay? Where do we find them, Eddie? Give it to us.
Okay, well, the hot sauce is twistedhotsauce.com. twistedhotsauce.com. I almost forgot my. And this is just put in Eddie Ojeda coffee, and the link will come up on Google. Because it goes through Dave Elfson's
website.
Coffee, yeah, website.
Coffee website. So get off your excuses and order some of these products because they really are great. I've tried all the hot sauces. They're amazing. The peach, for me, a little over the top. It's like battery acid, but the other two are amazing. No, it's great. I mean, so many people around me.
It's for people that really like super hot.
When I took it to a gathering that Laura and I went at a couple of weeks ago, we brought it with us. Everybody tried it. Matter of fact, this was the popular one.
Yeah,
because everybody I was with was pretty drunk, and they couldn't realize how hot it was. But it really is good, even though it's hot. It's very good. It really is. And like I said,
this was like in the middle. You know, the cherry.
It's great stuff. Go online. Order Eddie Ojeda's hot sauce, Eddie Ojeda's coffee, okay? And help Eddie Ojeda, okay? He's got to buy a lot of stuff for his grandson.
Yeah, I have a grandchild now, so.
Eddie, thank you for coming on, man. You do it again soon?
Definitely.
Do it again soon, okay. Everybody, Eddie Ojeda, Twisted Sister, man.
Peace out.
Thank him enough for driving through all the traffic, okay?
Yeah, 2.5 hours.
Like I said, this is 22 Now. Area 22 Productions. I'm Mark Mendoza. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Have a good night.
Ciao.